Chapter 387. Lewis did not even blink as he continued, "Demon God, with my help, this formation will definitely succeed." "Why are you helping the demon clan?" the demon god asked curiously. Lewis revealed a smile and said, "This world should allow stronger people to exist, it shouldn't be like this." The demon god frowned and said, "Oh, when the time comes, the demon clan will start a massacre. Don't tell me you don't have any psychological burden at all. Those who achieve great things do not care about small matters. Furthermore, didn't Hua Xia have a saying, a small amount is not a gentleman, a poison is not a man?" Hearing this, the demon god laughed out loud. "That's right, kid, you are the most interesting person I have ever seen in this world. However, I want to tell you, even without you, I can still complete the mountain river blood sacrifice formation. That might not be the case. After all, this is not the ancient times. How can it be easy for you to gather so many people? Any further delay would be a huge waste of time for the demon clan." Lewis retorted. The demon god's heart moved. Without a doubt, Lewis's method had moved him. He came to this world with a heavy responsibility on his shoulders, but until now, his progress had stagnated, causing him to be very depressed. Originally, he wanted to use Long Tinyu's power to set up this formation, but before he could tell Aprohui, Lewis had already come knocking on his door. This truly shocked him. He did not need to think to understand that Lewis was definitely doing this for the sake of sharing a greater benefit when the demon clan arrived in the future. That little benefit was not the focus of the demon god. As long as the demon clan arrived in this world first, then all sacrifices would be enough to make up for it. Although Long Tinyu did not know what the mountain river blood sacrifice formation was, he could clearly see that the demon god was moved. That way, Lewis would not die. He turned pale with fright and immediately shouted, "Demon God, I can do what he can do, and the Long family is blessed by the heavens. I will definitely be able to meet your requirements and satisfy you." Lewis laughed disdainfully. "Do you know what the mountain river blood sacrifice formation is? Do you know what to pay attention to?" "Ridiculous." Long Tinyu's face alternated between red and white, and said, "What does a foreigner like you know? God fiend, don't listen to his nonsense. Foreigners are all very cunning." "Cunning? In the face of absolute power, cunning is seeking death," the demon god said confidently. Lewis agreed. The demonic god is right. Moreover, I have a sincere heart. I truly want the demon race to descend into this world and build a new and more powerful world. Long Tinyu was speechless. Lewis's aura had completely suppressed him. He was at a loss for what to do. The demon god's gaze swept across the two of them, and finally said, "In that case, Long Tinyu, your mission has been completed." Long Tinyu's expression changed greatly as he shouted in panic, "Demon God, what do you mean by that?" Lewis smiled proudly. "You still don't understand. You have completed your mission, so of course you should die. Otherwise, if you reveal the secret of the demon god, that would not be good." Long Tinyu glared at Lewis with resentment, then looked at the demon god. Immediately, he saw that the demon god was expressionless, and did not have any intention of refuting Lewis. Long Tinyu immediately revealed a look of fear, and shouted, "Master, I am your servant, don't listen to this foreigner's nonsense." At the critical moment, Long Tinyu finally called him master. Originally, he called him demon god in front of outsiders, but now, in order to survive, he had to call him master. Back then, he and Sawada Ichiro were planted with the soul-devouring seal by the demon god and taken in as servants. However, he did not expect the demon god to turn hostile so quickly. The demon god was indifferent. He did not want Long Tinyu to die, but to test Lewis, he did not speak. From this short contact, whether it was strategy or knowledge, Lewis was obviously superior to Long Tinyu, so the demon god also had the intention to subdue him. This was to test him on purpose, so that he could understand him more clearly. Louis moved, a black shadow flashed, and blocked Long Tingyu's path. Scram! Long Tingyu roared, a gun appeared in his hand, he aimed at Louis and pulled the trigger. Bang! The bullet whistled, but it flew past Louis's cheek. In the blink of an eye, Long Tingyu no longer had the chance to fire a second shot. Louis grabbed onto Long Tingyu, and with a twist, Long Tingyu immediately soared into the air, his body spinning. In addition, Louis also grabbed onto the pistol, and with a creak, the barrel of the gun was twisted. Long Tingyu's expression changed greatly, he finally used all his strength to break free from Louis's grasp, and quickly retreated, shouting angrily, "This is Dayanan, the territory of the Long family, if you kill me, you will definitely not have a good ending." "Who knows I killed you?" Louis said disdainfully, his body like lightning, pouncing towards Long Tingyu again. From the brief exchange just now, Long Tingyu had already understood that he was not Louis's opponent, and there was also an unfathomable demon god, he had no chance to escape. He had not expected all of this to happen. He had never expected that the demonic god would try to kill him. He was unwilling, but he did not accept his fate. He quickly retreated, but Louis was faster than him, and was about to catch him. Suddenly, Long Tingyu's eyes lit up when he saw the two figures in the corner, and his eyes immediately widened. He had never looked forward to seeing Tang Jing so much, and felt that this face was so kind. He had already learned from Xiao Xiaoling what Tang Jing had said, and was originally very angry, but all of this, he was not angry, only glad. "Tang Jing!" Long Tingyu shouted without hesitation. Tang Jing and Li Xiaotian hid in the corner and restrained their auras. They were originally prepared to watch a good show, and this was indeed a good show, internal strife. However, they did not expect that Long Tingyu would actually retreat at lightning speed and discover their whereabouts. Hearing Long Tingyu's roar, the two of them wanted to retreat quietly, but it was too late. When Louis heard the two words, Tang Jing, his eyes were like lightning as he shot towards the corner. Sure enough, he saw the two of them. He was overwhelmed with shock. His plot with the demon god had actually been broken by them. This time, he was in big trouble. He absolutely could not let these two escape. Thus, he directly abandoned Long Tingyu and attacked Tang Jing. Tang Jing growled and attacked with lightning speed. Immediately, the two of them exchanged dozens of blows and then quickly retreated. The two of them looked at each other in surprise. Tang Jing knew his own strength very well, but in this short exchange of blows, Louis did not fall into a disadvantageous position. Louis also frowned as he stared at Tang Jing. He thought to himself, no wonder Mutu would die in his hands after transforming. This person's strength was not simple. Long Tingyu regarded Tang Jing as his saviors and hurriedly hid beside him, trembling with fear. "It's the two of you again." The demon god looked at the two people in front of him with a surprised expression. Immediately, his face was replaced by anger. "Demon god, you actually have such a despicable plan. You want to use so many people's lives as the price to let the demon clan descend." Tang Jing said with righteous indignation. "And you, Louis, your true face has finally been revealed. You used to pretend to be so polite, but it turns out that you are actually so cold-blooded." Louis said disdainfully, "Cold-blooded? This is a world where the strong preys on the weak. Without strength, wanting to survive is an extravagant hope. Moreover, with the demon clan in charge of this world will regain its glory. I think that's the glory of your Rockefeller family. It was exchanged for by currying favor with the demon clan. As long as the family can become strong, is the process that important? What I care about is the result," Louis said bluntly. "The two of you are courting death, which saves me the trouble of finding you. Back then in the capital, I let you escape. This time, I want to see who can save you," the demon god said proudly. Tang Jing and Li Xiaotian looked at each other. Li Xiaotian shrugged his shoulders indifferently and said, "What's the use of looking at me? Let's do it. If we don't fight, how can they let us go? Okay, then let's fight to our heart's content." Tang Jing said without fear. The demon god did not make a move at all. Instead, he hugged his shoulders and said, "Louis, Longtingyu, kill the two of them." Longtingyu hesitated and said, "Master, if you want to kill me, why should I help you?" "Humph, brainless fellow, if I want to kill you, do you still need Louis to do it? As long as I activate the soul-devouring seal, you will immediately fall to the ground and die. There's no need to go through so much trouble." The demon god coldly snorted. Longtingyu felt as if he had just woken up from a dream. That's right, if the demon god wanted to kill him, he only needed to think about it. How could it be so troublesome? In other words, he did not need to die. Longtingyu was overjoyed. He walked back from the brink of death, and without saying a word, he immediately attacked Tang Jing fiercely, roaring, "Tang Jing, today is the day you die. I want to see who will support that woman Mu Hongyan after you die." Louis's movements were also very fast. In the blink of an eye, Longtingyu and Louis joined hands to attack, and they even had a tacit understanding of each other. So. Two figures pounced forward. Li Xiaotian actually took the lead and directly faced Louis, shouting, "I've been looking for you for so long, how can I not test your skills?" The two of them had already fought several times, and every time, Longtingyu would suffer a great loss. However, this time, with the support of the demon god, Longtingyu was extremely confident. Even if he was not a match for him, the demon god would be able to help him out. In an instant, the few of them were locked in battle. Their figures flickered, and all that was left in the room were afterimages. Bang! Suddenly, Longtingyu flew backwards and crashed into the wall, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Longtingyu turned pale with fright and shouted, "Master, save me." The moment he shouted, the demon god also moved. However, Tang Zhang's speed was even faster than him. With a flash of black light, a sword appeared in his hand, the War Soul Sword. So, the War Soul Sword flew out of his hand. Pfft. Chapter 388. Longtingyu looked at the sword on his chest in disbelief. He did not expect that with the protection of the demon god, he would still be struck by the sword. Furthermore, this was a fatal strike. The War Soul Sword pierced into his heart, causing him to feel his heartbeat rapidly weakening. The reason why Tang Jing decisively took out the War Soul Sword was because this was a life-and-death situation. If he did not resist with all his might, he would definitely die. That was why he unhesitatingly took the risk of exposing his identity as a cultivator and used this move. The effect was very good. No one expected this unforeseen event. The demon god's rescue was too late, and Longtingyu's life force was completely cut off by this sword strike. He would not be merciful to this kind of person who was willing to sacrifice the lives of countless people to serve the demon god. Moreover, the two sides had old enmity. Just based on what he had done to Mu Hongyan and Nana, he deserved to die. The demon god was startled for a moment. He stared at the War Soul Sword, then shifted his gaze to Tang Jing, and roared, "So it's you." The demon god had a deep impression of this sword. When he first came to this world, it was because of the owner of this sword that he was heavily injured and had no choice but to flee in a sorry state. Now, he finally saw the other party's true appearance. So this person had always been on his body. Tang Jing, this brat was actually that cultivator. I will tear you into 10,000 pieces. The demon god roared in rage. His hair and beard were all fluttering in the wind, while his clothes fluttered in the wind. A bloody light flashed in his eyes, his killing intent soared, and his face became extremely sinister. Louis and Wales were also shocked. This was completely out of their expectations. This Tang Zhang was actually a cultivator. When Li Xiaotian saw that Tang Jing had exposed her identity, she already understood that today was a life-and-death battle, and could not be careless in the slightest. Tang Jing waved his hand, and the War Soul sword flew back into his hand. Long Tingyu slid softly from the wall to the ground, and no longer had any breath. Demon God, I will definitely stop your demon clan from descending into this world. Tang Jing pointed the War Soul sword in his hand at the demon god and said firmly. No one can stop the demon race. You hid your identity before, but now that you've been exposed, let's see how you're going to hide. Besides, do you think you can walk out of this door today? As soon as he finished speaking, the demon god moved. With a flash of blood-red light, the blood blade pierced through the air, heading straight for Tang Jing. Tang Jing brandished his War Soul sword and quickly fought with the demon god. The two of them had already fought several times and understood each other's moves. But this time, both of them felt that their cultivation had increased. Tang Jing, because of the effect of the spirit transformation pill, was a blessing in disguise. He was already at the second level of Anidia. However, it was obvious that during this period of time, Long Tingyu had found many martial warriors as for the demon god to suck dry his blood, allowing him to quickly recover his cultivation. The destructive power of the battle between the two was obviously a level higher than that of Li Xiaotian and Louis. In an instant, a strong wind blew in the room, causing rocks to fly everywhere. It was a complete mess. Tang Jing, I told you before, you haven't learned all the sword moves of the heaven-flying immortal. You're not my match at all. The demon god said proudly. Tang Jing clenched his teeth and quickly activated his true essence, immediately activating the heaven-flying immortal sword technique. The wind rose and the clouds surged, and the sword broke through 10,000 caddies. When these two moves were used, in an instant, the entire space was enveloped by a dense sword intent. However, the demon god was unmoved. Instead, he laughed disdainfully. I've already experienced these two moves before. Do you think you can still hurt me? Tang Jing snorted and ignored him. With a swoosh, the War Soul sword seemed to have the power of 1,000 caddies as it fiercely slashed down. Clang! The blood blade met the War Soul sword. The War Soul sword suddenly paused, then fiercely slashed onto the floor. Gotcha! The floor cracked open, and a huge crack appeared. Tang Jing, prepare to die. The demon god leaped into the air, directly passing through the War Soul sword and charging towards Tang Jing. The blood blade flickered with a bloody light, emitting an aura of death. The corner of Tang Jing's mouth curled up slightly, and he shouted, "Lightning fire sword!" Whiz! The War Soul sword that was inserted into the floor suddenly struggled free, releasing an ear-piercing scream. In the next second, it had already appeared on the demon god's back. The lightning fire sword was fast and unexpected, and Tang Jing's current move was completely out of the demon god's expectations. The demon god wanted to dodge, but it was too late. His expression suddenly changed as he roared, "Tang Jing, I will kill you." Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The blood blade soared into the sky and floated above his head, sprinkling down a bloody light that completely wrapped him up. Clang! The War Soul sword slashed onto the blood light, causing it to tremble. In the end, with a gotcha sound, the blood light shattered into pieces, causing the demon god to stagger and almost fall to the ground. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, the demon god suffered such a huge loss. His face was ashen, like a malicious spirit, and the anger in his eyes seemed to be about to spew out. Roar! The demon god roared as his body expanded. In the blink of an eye, he grew to 3 meters tall, like a giant. His entire body was shrouded in a layer of withering blood. Tang Jing had never seen him transform like this before and could not help but be flabbergasted. But what was more direct was the powerful aura. The demon god did not use the blood blade to attack again. Instead, he grabbed the War Soul sword with his big hand. Tang Jing, I'll destroy your sword first. Let's see how you can still use the heaven-flying immortal sword technique. The demon god shouted as he struck the War Soul sword with his palm. Wang! The War Soul sword trembled violently and let out a miserable cry. Tang Jing had a special connection with the War Soul sword, so he immediately felt what the War Soul sword was going through. The War Soul sword was already damaged, so if the demon god continued, it would probably be like the dragon trapping rope, directly crippled. As Li Xiaotian and Louis fought, they also clearly saw the battle between the two of them. They were all deeply shocked, especially Li Xiaotian. She knew very well that Tang Jing's strength was not as good as hers, but now, the strength that Tang Jing had displayed had completely surpassed her. Isn't this cultivation speed too fast? Louis's forehead wrinkled into a chuan character, realizing that he had still underestimated Tang Jing. The demon god laughed complacently. Take another palm of mine. The iron palm descended, striking straight at the War Soul sword. With this palm, the War Soul sword would definitely be crippled. Stop! Tang Jing shouted loudly. The heaven-shocking bow was already in his hands. He pulled the bowstring, wang, his fingers loosened, and a formless arrow shot towards the demon god. Tang Jing instantly realized that the power of this arrow was much stronger than before. It was obvious that the stronger his cultivation was, the more powerful the arrow shot out by the heaven-shocking bow would be. When the demon god saw the heaven-shocking bow, he immediately thought of the scene where he was struck by the heaven-shocking bow's arrow in the valley, causing his body to explode and he almost died. The demon god immediately dodged, and with a boom, the formless arrow hit the wall, and with a boom, half of the wall collapsed. After the War Soul sword escaped, Tang Jing waved his hand and it flew back into his summer bag. When Li Xiaotian saw the heaven-shocking bow, his eyes lit up and he shouted, Tang Jing, I knew that the heaven-shocking bow was in your hands, and I was right. Let's see how you can quibble now. I really didn't expect this bow to be able to shoot without arrows. Heaven-shocking bow, this is the heaven-shocking bow. When the demon god heard this name, his face turned pale with fright. His eyes stared straight at the heaven-shocking bow, emitting a greedy light. You know about the heaven-shocking bow? Tang Jing was extremely surprised. Back then, even Tian Chanzi was not clear about the heaven-shocking bow's name, and the demon god did not recognize the heaven-shocking bow either. However, when he heard the name, he actually had such a huge reaction, so he definitely knew about the heaven-shocking bow. To be honest, Tang Jing was also very curious about the origins of the heaven-shocking bow. This divine bow was truly too miraculous. No wonder this divine bow's power is so extraordinary. It's actually the weapon of the ancient era's martial monarch, Ho Yi. Back then, Ho Yi used the heaven-shocking bow to shoot down the golden crow and save the world from water and fire. The demon god was still immersed in great shock. Ho Yi used this heaven-shocking bow to shoot down the sun. Tang Jing and Li Xiaotian were both shocked. The legend of Ho Yi shooting down the sun had been passed down for a long time, and it was said that there were 10 suns in the sky in the ancient era, and these suns were all transformed from golden crows. People could not withstand the high temperature, and in the end, a warrior, Ho Yi, shot down 9 golden crows that transformed into suns, saving the common people. It was just that there was no introduction to the sun-shooting weapon in the legends. He never thought that it would actually be this heaven-shocking bow. Tang Jing could not help but caress the heaven-shocking bow, as if he could still travel through time and space, and feel that soul-stirring period. Tang Jing, where did you get this heaven-shocking bow? The demon god's eyes turned cold. The heaven-shocking bow had been lost for who knows how many years. He never thought that it would appear in the hands of this young man. How could I possibly tell you such a huge secret? Tang Jing said. Since the heaven-shocking bow was so extraordinary, then the prehistoric heavenly tomb was even more mysterious. He definitely could not tell the other party. If you don't want to say it, then go to hell. I must obtain the heaven-shocking bow. Let me tell you, Tang Jing, back then, the martial Empress Yi used 2 weapons to shoot the sun. Other than the heaven-shocking bow, there are also the sun-shooting arrows. Once I gather these 2 weapons, my strength will increase explosively. Ha, you gave me such good news before you died, I really have to thank you. The demon god laughed. The heaven-shocking bow is mine, no one can touch it. Li Xiaotian shouted loudly. He immediately gave up on Louis and rushed to Tang Zheng's side, looking at the heaven-shocking bow with covetous eyes, but did not immediately snatch it away. Tang Jing, let's see how you're going to act shamelessly now. Li Xiaotian clenched his teeth and said. Let's deal with these people first. Tang Jing said. The 2 of you are courting death, then I'll fulfill your wish. I must obtain the heaven-shocking bow, go and die. The demon god roared, a gust of wind blew around his body, and the blood mist immediately spread out. Be careful of this blood mist. Tang Jing reminded. Li Xiaotian immediately held his breath, while Louis and Wales immediately retreated to the door of the room, avoiding the blood mist. Ha, little girl, you're not a cultivator, and you want to avoid my devil blood soul devouring technique? Dream on. The demon god laughed complacently. Chapter 389. What's wrong with me? Li Xiaotian cried out in alarm. Don't move. You've been struck by his demon blood soul devouring technique. In the end, your soul will scatter and you will die. Tang Jing stopped her. My soul will scatter. Li Xiaotian was the holy maiden of Li Palace, but she was also a person who was afraid of death. She immediately shouted, Tang Jing, save me. Ha, let's see how you save her. The demon god waved his blood blade, causing it to shine brightly. In an instant, it turned from a small dagger into a large blade, slashing towards Tang Jing. Tang Jing shot out 3 arrows in a row. Whoosh 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 whoosh, the invisible arrows shot out in a triangle shape. Clang clang clang. The demon god waved his blood blade and blocked the 3 arrows in a row. The light on the blood blade swayed incessantly, as if it could collapse at any time. Ha, Tang Jing, I've already recovered 90% of my power. How could you possibly be my match? The demon god said proudly. Tang Jing was overwhelmed with shock. Previously, he could still rely on the power of the heaven-shocking bow to force the demon god to retreat, but now that the demon god had recovered 90% of his power, he was already a little overwhelmed. Then what is your cultivation level? Tang Jing asked. There's no harm in telling you. Gold Core Stage 7. When I recover all of my power, I will reach Gold Core Stage 9. Then, I will be invincible, ha ha ha. The demon god was actually a 7th stage gold core, and after Tian Chanzi returned to the sun, he was only a 5th stage gold core. Didn't that mean that he was even stronger than Tian Chanzi now? As for himself, he was only at the 2nd level of Anidia, far from the 7th level of gold core. No matter how powerful the heaven-shocking bow was, it would not be able to make up for this gap. Tang Jing immediately understood this point, and felt bitter in his heart. He did not know how many warriors Long Tingyu had found for him to recover his cultivation so quickly. Let's retreat. There's no way we can win this battle. Tang Jing had the thought of retreating. Even though it was very dangerous for him to reveal his identity, he had no way of getting rid of everyone present in order to prevent future troubles. It could only be said that the weather was unpredictable. Man proposes but God disposes. He didn't expect that this time, he would discover a huge conspiracy, but it also caused him to fall into a huge trouble. My cultivation must make a huge leap in this trip to the 100,000 mountains. Only then can I guarantee my safety when I return to the secular world. Tang Zheng made up his mind and hugged Li Xiaotian. With her soft body in his arms, the two of them quickly retreated. You want to escape? In your dreams, leave behind your life and the heaven-shocking bow. The demon god waved his blood blade and chased after him fiercely. Boom! Tang Zheng slammed his palm on the wall behind him. His shin qi pulsated, and with a rumbling sound, stone chips flew everywhere. The wall seemed to have cracked, and a huge crack appeared on it. Boom! The load-bearing wall of the villa collapsed, and the villa was unable to support itself. It collapsed with a loud bang, and a huge ruin fell from the sky and landed in front of the demon god, blocking his line of sight. The demon god was furious and shouted for him not to run, but the entire villa collapsed in an instant. He had no way to stop it, let alone chase after Tang Zheng. A huge rock fell from the sky and smashed towards the demon god's head. The demon god immediately waved his blood blade in the air, Kacha, the debris above his head all dodged, and with a tap of his foot, he soared into the sky. Boom! The entire villa instantly turned into ruins, and only 3 people were still standing. They were the demon god, Louis and Wales. Tang Zheng and Li Xiaotian were nowhere to be found. Damn it, they actually escaped. The demon god was furious, he was unwilling to give up. He turned his gaze and immediately locked onto Louis and the other 2, and said, "Why aren't you guys leaving?" Louis said calmly, "I am going to cooperate with you, how can I leave?" "Brat, I don't know what you're planning, but I want to tell you, if you play tricks in front of me, you will die miserably." The demon god threatened. "Demon god, when did I ever play tricks with you? I sincerely want to cooperate with you and create a new world." Louis said solemnly. To create a new world, you should wait until I deal with that stinking brat Tang Zheng and obtain the heaven-shocking bow. The demon god said. Louis said proudly, "Demon god, why would you need to do anything to deal with him? Since his identity has been exposed, there will be countless people who will deal with him. It would be better for us to hurry up and set up the Mountain River blood sacrifice array." "What do you know?" The demon god said unhappily. Louis was not clear about the demon god's thoughts. It was true that the demon god wanted the demon clan to descend into this world, but compared to this grand goal, he wanted to obtain the heaven-shocking bow more. The heaven-shocking bow was simply too powerful. With the heaven-shocking bow and then finding the shooting sun arrows, even if he was only at the 9th stage of the Jindan stage, he would be able to contend against the experts of the Yuanying stage. The demon god knew very well that when the demon clan descended on a large scale in the future, there would be more and more experts in this world. As for him, he would be submerged in the vast sea of people and become extremely ordinary. He had to seize this opportunity to make himself as strong as possible. Louis was taught a lesson, but he was not angry, because with Long Tinyu dead, the demon god could only cooperate with him if he wanted to set up the Mountain River blood sacrifice array. "Demon god, what should we do next?" "Find Tang Zheng for me." "We must find him," the demon god said firmly. "Yes, he won't be able to fly even if he has wings." Louis was full of confidence, and thought to himself, "Tang Zheng, I didn't expect you to be a cultivator. I believe that the martial sect will definitely be interested in this news. As long as you die, Shusha will be mine." Not long after, an explosive piece of news came out from Dianan. Long Tinyu was killed, and it was at his own residence. In the end, even the house was turned into ruins, causing people to guess that it was as if it had been attacked by a bomb. Long Xianyuan stood at the edge of the ruins, looking at his subordinates busily cleaning up the ruins. His face was extremely gloomy. During this period of time, the Long family had encountered too many unforeseen events, showing that Mu Hongyan had colluded with the people of the island nation to betray the interests of the family. When Long Xianyuan first received this news, he was extremely shocked and furious. Mu Hongyan was expelled from the Long family, and Long Xianyuan handed over most of the family business to Long Tingyu to manage. However, he did not expect that in just a few days, Long Tingyu would actually be killed. "Master, young master has been found." His subordinates suddenly shouted, and a few people carried out Long Tingyu, who was buried in the ruins. Long Xianyuan looked at his son's corpse, and his eyes immediately turned red, but they were instantly replaced by an overwhelming killing intent. "Do you know who did it?" Long Xianyuan asked. "The information shows that a great battle happened here, and young master died at the hands of a person called Tang Jing. In addition, there are a few people who are also related to this matter," his subordinate reported. The Long family was definitely the local tyrant of Dianan. Although almost everyone on the scene was dead, the Long family had figured out a little of the truth. Tang Jing. Long Xianyuan frowned. This person's name was too familiar. Why is he in Dianan? "I don't know. Tingyu was really killed by him." "Yes. Find him, I want him to be buried with Tingyu," Long Xianyuan said with killing intent. At the same time, the two elders received a mysterious message. Tang Zheng was a cultivator, and he was the mysterious cultivator who appeared when the demon god descended. This news was too explosive. The three of them immediately went south and chased after him. Furthermore, Marshall had a secret mission, which was to find the person who wore the jade pendant. She did not expect that after brushing past him so many times, the other party had always been by her side. They also immediately confirmed that the third elder had most likely fallen into the hands of Tang Jing. Therefore, new and old grudges were added together, and they had to catch Tang Jing. Tang Jing returned to the hotel with Li Xiaotian, who had fallen into a coma, and happened to see Lu Ming. Lu Ming was dumbfounded as he watched Tang Jing enter the room with a stunning beauty in his arms. Suddenly, he was shocked, angry and happy. This time, he finally caught your pigtail again. Let's see how Professor Qi will protect you this time. Just as Tang Jing placed Li Xiaotian on the bed, Lu Ming rushed in and shouted righteously, "Tang Jing, you beast, what are you doing?" Before Tang Jing could reply, a white shadow pounced at Lu Ming. Lu Ming was so scared that he screamed and hurriedly retreated, knocking into the door and letting out a pitiful cry. He was battered and exhausted. This white shadow was of course Xiao Bai. Previously, Tang Zheng and Li Xiaotian went out to investigate the whereabouts of Louis. Because they were worried that it would run around and expose its whereabouts, they locked it in the room. At this moment, seeing Lu Mingchao roar at Tang Jing, and especially making things difficult for it at the airport, the new hatred added together, so of course it would be angry. Even if Xiao Bai did not spit fire, it was still very aggressive. It slammed into Lu Ming's stomach, and immediately, Lu Ming flew out of the room like a kite with a broken string, hitting the wall and fainting. Xiao Bai bared his teeth and called out proudly. He walked with his feet splayed out and swayed at the door a few times. Seeing that the other party was not moving, he closed the door. Tang Zheng was not in the mood to pay attention to Lu Ming, because Li Xiaotian's situation was not optimistic. After the demon god's strength increased, the power of the demon blood soul devouring technique was not the same as before, and it actually caused Li Xiaotian to faint. Tang Jing could feel a strange power swimming in her body. If it was not restrained, then she would most likely be in trouble. Originally, Tang Jing wanted nothing more than to kill this burden, but now that things had come to a head, he was a little hesitant. Today was different from the past. His identity as a cultivator had been exposed, and the danger he would face in the future would be even greater. And Li Xiaotian's death would not benefit him in any way. Moreover, the two of them were at least companions, so it was not his style to leave him in the lurch. He glanced at the unconscious Li Xiaotian and muttered to himself, "You're lucky, I'll be merciful and save you this time." Tang Jing cast a spell to heal Li Xiaotian, but there was a commotion outside the door. A member of the archaeological team discovered Lu Ming, and Lu Ming also woke up. Immediately, he flew into a rage. He was actually bullied by Tang Zheng and his pet. This was truly a great humiliation. This was definitely a good opportunity to establish his might. He had to take this opportunity to kick this person out of the archaeological team and make Professor Qi speechless. Chapter 390. Outside the door, Qi Shaoan and the rest of the archaeological team had gathered. Lu Ming was indignantly complaining about Tang Zheng's beastly behavior. This man is a disgrace to our archaeological team. How dare he carry a girl home with ill intentions? This is against the law and tarnishing the reputation of our archaeological team. This cannot be tolerated. Qi Shaoan frowned. He knew Tang Zheng well enough to know that he had no shortage of beautiful women around him. It was said that many of them were pursuing him. How could he do something so ridiculous? Leader Lu, you can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. Qi Shaoan said in a low voice. Lu Ming said indignantly, Professor Qi, do you think I'm lying? Of course, we are very clear about your character, but your disciple is not like you. As for whether I'm lying or not, we'll know soon enough. As they spoke, Lu Ming saw that the person he sent to call the hotel manager had returned. The manager was with him. Sir, someone is doing something bad to a girl in here. Open the door quickly or something big is going to happen. Lu Ming said. The hotel manager did not hesitate. He immediately took out his spare card and swiped it to open the door. Bang! Lu Ming took the lead and rushed in without a care for his own safety. He thought to himself, Kid, this infinity, you're dead meat now. We've got solid evidence of your crime. Let's see how you're going to deny it. The others rushed in as well. How could they miss out on such a big piece of gossip? Qi Shaoan was fuming with rage. He rushed to the front of the group as well. He wanted to see if his disciple was as bad as Lu Ming had said he was. In an instant, this small room was filled with people. It was so crowded that not even a drop of water could trickle through. Everyone stretched their necks and looked at the bed, hoping to see a scene of sex. However, when they saw it clearly, everyone was stunned. There was no sex scene. The two of them were sitting upright on the chairs beside the bed, looking curiously at the group of people who rushed in. Tang Zhang's lips curled into a faint sneer. He had already helped Li Xiaotian dispel the strange power in her body. Her face was a little pale, but she was fine. Tang Zhang's ears were sharp, so of course he heard the quarrel outside the door. He immediately guessed Lu Ming's sinister intentions, so after he cured Li Xiaotian, he didn't rush out to refute the rumors. Instead, he sat upright on the chair, waiting for this group of people to come in and watch a good show. Lu Ming looked at the two people who were sitting upright in disbelief. Wasn't that beauty already unconscious? And Tang Zheng looked like an impatient pervert. How come nothing happened between the two of them in the blink of an eye? Tang Zheng looked at Lu Ming mockingly and pretended not to know anything. Hey, why did so many of you rush in? Schwa. Everyone's eyes focused on Lu Ming. Lu Ming's face flushed red. He clenched his teeth and braced himself to ask, Tang Zheng, you just carried this girl in. Are you going to do something bad? Oh, I'm going to do something bad. Which eye of yours saw me do something bad? Tang Zheng slowly stood up and asked with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Both of my eyes saw it. Don't tell me you still want to deny it. Miss, you don't have to be afraid. Today, so many of us are here to help you. We should expose the sinister face of this kind of person. Lu Ming urged Li Xiaotian. Li Xiaotian also stood up. How could someone as smart as her not know what was going on? She immediately smiled and said, You're here to save me. Yes, I'm here to save you. Miss, quickly come over. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Seeing that Li Xiaotian was a little moved, he hurriedly said, "I'll protect you. No one can hurt you." He was overjoyed. If he could win the girl's favor and have a romantic relationship with such a beauty, it would be a wonderful thing in life. Everyone's eyes widened when they saw this scene. Qi Shaoan especially cared about Tang Jing. He asked, "Tang Jing, tell me the truth. Did you do anything wrong to her?" Qi Shaoan knew Li Xiaotian. She was the one who pointed out the authenticity of the painting of the 9 heavens. How could Qi Shaoan forget? In fact, when he saw that Tang Jing was with Li Xiaotian, he was not so worried. Tang Jing smiled and said, "Leader Lu, didn't you say that I did?" "Yes, you did. I saw it all. Don't deny it," Lu Ming said solemnly. Then he turned to Li Xiaotian and urged, "Miss, tell me. I'll make the decision for you." Li Xiaotian had already arrived in front of Lu Ming. A burst of fragrant wind assaulted his face. Lu Ming was fascinated. He had never been so close to such a beautiful woman. His throat couldn't help but dry up. Everyone looked at Li Xiaotian. Li Xiaotian's face gradually darkened. It was as if a storm was coming. Slap! Suddenly, there was a loud slap. Lu Ming spun like a top and almost fell to the ground. He was in a sorry state and there were a few fingerprints on his face. "You're the miss. Your whole family are misses. You brought so many people and swore that Tang Jing did something to me. Are you trying to ruin my reputation? You're lucky that I didn't beat you to death. Get lost." Li Xiaotian shouted angrily. The beauty changed her face faster than the weather. The audience was stunned. What was going on? Why did she hit Lu Ming? Lu Ming was also stunned. His beautiful fantasy was immediately shattered. He felt a burning pain on his face. He felt that he had lost all his face. "Why did you hit me?" "I hit you. I'm friends with Tang Jing. You slandered me and him. If I don't hit you, who should I hit?" Li Xiaotian raised her hand and was about to hit him again. Lu Ming quickly stepped back and dodged the slap. He was in a daze. The audience suddenly realized that all of this was made up out of nothing by Lu Ming. The others were friends, and there was no such thing as a mess. And he deliberately slandered Tang Jing, his heart was too narrow-minded. Everyone thought of the incident at the airport. They guessed that Lu Ming was deliberately making trouble to ruin Tang Jing's reputation. That was too despicable. Qi Shaoan heaved a sigh of relief. However, he was also angry. Lu Ming repeatedly made things difficult for Tang Jing. That was the same as making things difficult for him. If a tiger doesn't show its power, do you think I'm a sick cat? Qi Shaoan said in a deep voice, "Leader Lu, you're making trouble out of nothing and ruining someone else's reputation. What are you up to? I seriously doubt that the archaeology team can achieve good results under your leadership." Facing Qi Shaoan's questioning, Lu Ming panicked. He hurriedly explained, "Professor Qi, this is all a misunderstanding. I must have been seeing things. I must have been seeing things." He reacted quickly. He no longer cared about Tang Jing and Li Xiaotian. He wanted to appease Qi Shaoan's anger. "Seeing things. I'm so old but I'm not seeing things. You're so young but you're seeing things. Humph, you're really something," Qi Shaoan said sarcastically. Lu Ming nodded quickly. "Professor Qi, you're old but vigorous. How can I be compared to you? Don't worry, there won't be a next time. Everyone, please leave. Don't disturb Tang Jing." After saying that, he took the lead and walked out quickly, running away with his tail between his legs. Phew! Lu Ming heaved a sigh of relief. He had finally escaped from the archaeology team. He waved at one of the soldiers and ordered, "Keep an eye on Tang Jing. Report to me immediately if he does anything." These soldiers were all under his command. He had the right to order them around. "Tang Jing, wait until we enter the 10,000 huge mountains tomorrow. I want to see how you can be so arrogant. I will return it to you 1,000 times over and let you know the serious consequences of offending me. And that woman, she actually dared to hit me. Since I was young, no one has ever dared to hit me. No matter who you are finished." Lu Ming's eyes seemed to be able to spit fire as he gnashed his teeth and muttered to himself. Only Tang Jing, Li Xiaotian, and Qi Shaoan were left in Tang Zheng's room. "Professor Qi, I'm sorry to have made you worry," said Tang Zheng. Qi Shaoan waved his hand and said, "It's all Lu Ming's fault. He's narrow-minded. It seems that it was a huge mistake for the higher-ups to send him to lead the team." After a pause, he asked Li Xiaotian, "Why are you in Dianan?" "I have something to do." Qi Shaoan already knew that she was not a student of Yenqing University. It was inappropriate for him to ask more questions. He nodded and said, "I'll leave first. We'll enter the 100,000 hills tomorrow. Tang Jing, you should rest early." Li Xiaotian's eyes lit up when she heard that. However, a trace of suspicion flashed across her eyes. After Qi Shaoan left, she quickly asked, "You're going to enter the 100,000 hills?" "Yes." "What for?" "Archaeology. Didn't you see such a large archaeology team? Did someone discover the primitive heavenly tomb?" Li Xiaotian asked curiously. "How is that possible?" "It's just routine archaeology," Tang Jing said perfunctorily. "Humph, you must be hiding something from me, right?" Li Xiaotian asked. Tang Jing said sternly, "How is that possible? Don't let your imagination run wild." Li Xiaotian stared at him with a burning gaze, his heart moved. Tang Zheng's mouth was harder than granite, it was easier said than done to pry open his mouth. "It's fine if you don't say it, I naturally have a way to find out what you guys are up to. Tang Jing, can you return the heaven-shocking bow to me now?" Li Xiaotian extended his hand and said with a smile that was not a smile. "Look for it. If you find it, it's yours." Tang Jing shrugged his shoulders, of course he would not give it to the other party. Now that he understood the power of the heaven-shocking bow, how could he give it away? "You. Shameless, I saw it with my own eyes, the heaven-shocking bow is in your hands, do you still want to deny it?" Li Xiaotian was furious. "I'm not denying it. If you have the ability, then find it. Otherwise, it means that this thing is not fated with you, so don't force it. What's more, I just saved your life. Is this how you repay your savior? Shouldn't you repay the favor of saving your life with your body?" Tang Zheng said in ridicule. "Promise your head." Li Xiaotian opened her eyes wide in anger, gasping for breath, thinking that he was really the one who saved her just now. It would be a bit unrighteous to turn hostile like this, and the other party was a dead pig that was not afraid of boiling water, she could not do anything to him. Chapter 391. Li Xiaotian compromised, and no longer pursued the matter of the heaven-shocking bow, and said, "Tang Jing, your identity as a cultivator has already been exposed, aren't you afraid?" "What's the use of being afraid?" Tang Jing asked back. Yes, I'm afraid it won't solve the problem. Moreover, the demon god has such a huge plan, and cultivators will step onto the stage sooner or later. At that time, everyone will know of your existence, and the martial sect will not have the time to deal with you. Li Xiaotian laughed. Tang Zheng's heart moved, and he said, "That's right, since the martial sect hates cultivators to the bones, then we should tell them the whereabouts of the demon god, and let them bite each other to see who will survive in the end." I'll leave the task of passing the message to you. You're really smart. Now that the demon god is entangled with the martial sect, he won't have the time to pay attention to you. Tang Jing did not comment, but he knew in his heart that this was not the case. The demon god was already at the 7th stage of the gold core stage, which was equivalent to the 7th stage of the great master stage. In this world, there were probably people who could match him, and even the martial great master stage would not be able to do so. However, this was not his main focus. His top priority right now was to enter the 10,000 huge mountains. As long as he entered the 10,000 huge mountains, even if the demon god and the martial sect wanted to deal with him, it would not be an easy task. What are your plans next? Li Xiaotian asked. Tang Jing shrugged his shoulders, and said indifferently, soldiers will block, water will cover the earth. Alright, then I'll wait and see. I'll be leaving first. Li Xiaotian waved his hand and left. Early in the morning, the archaeological team was ready to set off, and the large group directly headed towards the 10,000 huge mountains. When they left the city, a group of people came to the hotel they were staying at, and immediately checked Tang Zhang's check-in records. However, it was still too late. When the news reached the Long family, Long Xianyuan flew into a rage and immediately sent a group of people to chase after the archaeological team. If he let the other party escape in Dianan's territory, then would he, Long Xianyuan, still have face? At the same time, the demon god and Louis also received news of Tang Zhang's archaeological team's movements. Both of them were very surprised, not knowing why they were going to the vast 10,000 mountains. Coincidentally, Sawada Ichiro had returned. Sawada Ichiro had originally come for his junior brother Yamamoto, so he had been tracking down Yamamoto's whereabouts for the past few days. In the end, he confirmed that he had also entered the 10,000 huge mountains. He was not clear about Yamamoto's true purpose, but since Yamamoto dared to take such a huge risk to enter the 10,000 huge mountains, then there must be something extremely important. The results of Louis's investigation had also come out. It was said that this time, because of the discovery of the 4 stone monuments, the archaeological team had mobilized so many people and entered the 100,000 mountains regardless of the danger. Hearing that, Sawada Ichiro immediately guessed that Yamamoto was probably going to the ancient ruins, and the demon god was even more interested in the ancient ruins, so he wanted to go to the 10,000 huge mountains to investigate. Thus, the demon god's group of 4 also quickly entered the Grand Myriad Mountains. When the people from the martial sect arrived in Dianan, they were even a step too late. Their trip was not only for Tang Jing, but also for the demon god. They were prepared to capture the 2 of them in one fell swoop. As a result, they resolutely entered the 10,000 huge mountains. 3 groups of people entered the 10,000 huge mountains one after another. This mountain that had been silent for countless years gradually became lively, as if it had been awakened. The archaeological team carried a lot of supplies, because everyone knew that this was not a good place. In the past, it had swallowed countless lives. The scorching sun was high in the sky, and the trees covered the sky, blocking most of the sunlight. Although it was winter, the mountains were still a little stuffy. There were no roads in the mountains, so these people could only walk. Fortunately, most of the people in the archaeological field had good physical fitness, so no one complained about being tired after crossing the mountains. Even Qi Shaowen, who was already old, did not drag them down. However, there were always exceptions to everything, and Lu Ming was an exception. After crossing a hill, he was so tired that he called for a stop, saying that he would rest first before continuing. He was sweating profusely, as if he was about to collapse. Everyone knew that he must be used to sitting in the office all the time, so his physical fitness was terrible. Otherwise, he would not be so weak. They had no choice but to rest. A few soldiers stood guard outside the perimeter, while the others sat around drinking water and resting. Lu Ming let out a long sigh and asked, how much longer will it take for us to arrive? Based on our current progress, it should take another 4 days to arrive, someone answered. That's so far away. If we had known, we would have taken a helicopter. We wouldn't have to go through so much trouble, Lu Ming complained, obviously dissatisfied with the walking. Take a helicopter. Humph, Qi Shaoan smiled meaningfully, then closed his eyes to rest. The others also looked at Lu Ming with strange smiles. Tang Zheng was puzzled, not knowing why everyone had such a reaction. Lu Ming's suggestion was indeed a good idea. Lu Ming also felt the strange atmosphere, so he asked, "Is there a problem with my plan?" "Of course there's a problem. Don't you know that a plane crashed here a few years ago?" Someone said. "What's wrong with that?" "Of course there's a problem. Let me tell you, the 100,000 Mountains is a no-fly zone. All flying objects will be interfered with here, causing them to crash. This is a lesson learned with blood and tears. Don't you know?" Lu Ming's face fell. He did not know about this at all. Seeing that his plan was exposed, he snorted discontentedly and said, "Humph, it's not that bad." It was indeed bad. Many people wanted to explore the vast 100,000 mountains in the past, but when they found that they could not travel on foot, they decided to use helicopters and other flying devices. However, several planes crashed in a row, and countless people died. Only then did everyone realize that this area was too strange. There was some kind of force that interfered with flying devices. This method was not feasible at all. Hearing this, Tang Jing thought of the restriction. It was most likely caused by that restriction. However, now that the restriction was gone, he did not know if flying devices could fly over this area. Of course, Tang Zheng would not tell anyone this secret. If these people knew that flying devices could fly over this area, it would be a big problem. After resting for half a day, the group restocked on food and set off again. When it was almost dark, they finally found a place to rest. They set up tents and started a fire to cook. Qi Shaoan put his hands on his hips and looked in the direction of their destination. His eyes narrowed slightly. Tang Zheng walked over and asked, "Professor Qi, what are you looking at?" Qi Shaoan said without turning his head, "Tang Zheng, don't you feel that this journey has been too smooth?" Smooth? Tang Zheng was shocked. It was true. When he walked in the 100,000 hills before, he often encountered miasma. However, after walking for a day, he did not encounter any miasma at all. It was really strange. You haven't been to the 100,000 hills before, so you don't know how dangerous it is. For the archaeologists, this place is a place of great danger. Usually, no one comes back. Miasma runs rampant and swamps are everywhere. Ferocious beasts are unscrupulous. Although we have encountered a few swamps this time, we did not encounter any ferocious beasts or miasma. Don't you think it's strange?" Qi Shaoan asked worriedly. Tang Zheng thought about it and agreed. However, he could not explain it. He could only comfort Qi Shaoan by saying, "We should be glad that we didn't encounter any miasma. Otherwise, we would be in big trouble." Qi Shaoan nodded and his expression relaxed a little. He said, "Tang Zheng, I put you in danger by bringing you here. Please don't blame me." Why would I blame you? This is a rare opportunity. I couldn't ask for more. Tang Zheng said. Qi Shaoan patted him on the shoulder with relief. It was late at night and most people had gone to bed. Only a few groups of soldiers took turns to stand guard. Tang Zheng fell asleep in a daze. Suddenly, he felt something on his face. He opened his eyes and found that Xiao Bai had woken up and was winking at him. "Xiao Bai, what's wrong?" Tang Zheng asked curiously. Xiao Bai squeaked and pointed outside the tent. Tang Zheng thought about it and quickly hugged him in his arms. He said, "They're here." Xiao Bai nodded. "Well, let's go." Tang Zheng left the tent quietly. His figure flashed and like a shadow, he drifted past the patrolling soldiers and swept into the distance without alerting anyone. Whoosh! Tang Zheng stopped in front of a big tree. Two figures immediately flashed out from behind the big tree and called out in a low voice, "Lord Envoy, you're back." These two people were the Witch Clan elder and Yi Yuan. Back then, when Tang Zheng sent Yi Yuan back to the Witch Clan, he had made preparations beforehand. The people of the Witch Clan must have discovered the whereabouts of this archaeological team and discovered that he was among them, which was why they took advantage of the night to come and see him. Under the moonlight, the elder looked at Tang Zheng excitedly and wanted to kowtow to him, but was stopped by Tang Zheng. "Elder, there's no need to do this. How are the preparations for the things I told you to prepare?" This time, no matter what, he could not let this group of people reach the Witch Clan's base camp. Otherwise, the Witch Clan would really be exposed. "Lord Envoy, don't worry. I've already prepared a huge illusion array. These people will definitely not be able to get close to our tribe," the elder vowed. Tang Zheng nodded in satisfaction. "Elder, thank you for your hard work. Are our clansmen all right?" "The clansmen are all fine, but the family misses Lord Envoy. Furthermore, Yuan came back and told us about the outside world. I didn't expect the outside world to have already become like this." The elder sighed. "This time, I will bring another group of clansmen to leave and adapt to life outside. In the future, our Witch Clan will walk out of this mountain." This was a countermeasure that Tang Zheng had thought of earlier. It was impossible for the Witch Clan to live in seclusion here forever. This was a power with limitless potential, and he would face an even greater crisis in the future. He had to have this power that he could trust in his hands. "We have been waiting for that day for a long time. Our Witch Clan has been trapped here for who knows how many years. This time, thanks to Lord Envoy, we were able to walk out." Before he could finish his words, a gunshot broke the silence of the night. Chapter 392. In the quiet night, this gunshot was exceptionally sudden, causing people's nerves to jump. Tang Zheng immediately turned his head and looked in the direction of the camp. He exclaimed in a low voice, "Is the witch tribe going to attack tonight?" The elder and Yi Yuan were at a loss. "No, without Lord Envoy's orders, we will not move." "How many single nests are there?" "Oh no, something must have happened." Tang Zheng could already hear the commotion. "Don't come near. I'll go and see what's going on first." Tang Zheng rushed towards the camp in a flash. From afar, he could see that the camp was lit up with dazzling lights. There was a hubbub of voices and many screams. "Ha! Why is there a pack of wolves here?" Dozens of tall and ferocious hungry wolves surrounded this group of people with their big round eyes. There was a wolf corpse on the ground. It was obviously killed by the shot just now. Tang Zheng heaved a sigh of relief. These wild wolves were just ordinary beasts and not demonic beasts, so they were not a big problem. He quietly appeared behind the wild wolves, and the people in the camp happened to see this scene. They heard Qi Shaoan shout in panic, "Tang Zheng, be careful. These wild wolves are very fierce. Hurry up and hide." Although he had good intentions, his loud roar made many of the wolves notice the human behind them. They bared their teeth, revealing their long fangs. Seeing this, everyone turned pale with fright. This time, Tang Zheng was in trouble, and Lu Ming revealed a smug expression. "Tang Zheng, you brat, you're finished this time." However, Tang Zheng walked straight to the camp as if nothing had happened. It was as if he did not care about the surrounding wolves at all. Roar! Suddenly, a wild wolf pounced at Tang Zheng, its sharp claws and fangs attacking Tang Zheng at the same time. "Ah!" Screams rang out from the crowd. Many people subconsciously closed their eyes, unable to bear to see such a bloody scene. However, Lu Ming's eyes were wide open, as if he had been injected with chicken blood. He wanted to see with his own eyes the scene of Tang Jing being torn apart by the wild wolves. However, it was obvious that he could not do as he wished. A white shadow streaked across the night sky and crashed into the wild wolf. The wild wolf howled as it was sent flying. "It's that little bastard again." Lu Ming immediately recognized the culprit. Wasn't it the Xiaobai that bumped into him yesterday? This little bastard is actually not afraid of wolves, and with such great strength. What breed of dog is it? Quite a few people saw this miraculous scene, only to see Little White return to Tang Zheng's shoulder, flaunting its might at the pack of wolves. The pack of wolves were enraged. With a howl, all the wolves rushed towards Tang Zheng. Tang Zheng continued to walk towards the camp as if he was taking a stroll in the park. A white figure flashed as Little White shuttled through the pack of wolves, completely blocking all the beasts, preventing them from getting close to Tang Zheng. Is this still a puppy? It's even more ferocious than the wild wolves. Many people were shocked as they stared blankly at this scene. In an instant, dozens of wild wolves were sent flying. To deal with these ordinary wild beasts, Xiaobai did not need to spit fire, nor did he need to show his extraordinary momentum to scare them off. Instead, he simply repelled these enemies without any fancy tricks. Tang Zheng walked safely into the camp under everyone's watchful eyes. Then, he called out, "Xiaobai, come back." With a whoosh, Xiaobai immediately appeared on his shoulder again, pouting unwillingly, as if it had not played enough. What is it?" Lu Ming asked, dumbfounded. "My pet," Tang Zheng said lightly, then looked at everyone and said, "What's going on?" "We were attacked by wild wolves when we were sleeping. These bastards are really cunning. They even knew to sneak up on us in the dark. If it weren't for the patrols, we would have been wiped out," Qi Shaoan said happily. "Then what should we do now?" Tang Zheng asked. Everyone looked at Lu Ming in unison. Lu Ming's face reddened. What could he do? Although there were many people on his side, the only ones who could really fight were the 20 or so soldiers. Facing such a large pack of wolves, they would not be able to gain much advantage. "Tang Zheng, isn't that puppy of yours very powerful? Let it fight with the wild wolves and we'll be fine." Lu Ming thought of a plan and said. Tang Zheng rolled his eyes. "You really have a good idea. You actually want to use Xiaobai. Xiaobai is not as powerful as you say. Aren't you the team leader? You should think of a way to deal with it yourself. Isn't the safety of all of our lives in your hands?" Tang Zheng said coldly. Since Lu Ming was going against him, he would not help him out of kindness. Anyway, there were so many wild wolves. In fact, with him around, they could not hurt them at all. Lu Ming was checkmated. Anger flashed across his face. "Tang Zheng, for everyone's safety, are you still going to be so selfish?" "I'm selfish. When have I been selfish? You're the team leader. Shouldn't you be thinking about everyone's safety?" Tang Zheng retorted immediately. "You." Lu Ming was speechless. Seeing this, Qi Shaoan became the peacemaker. "Team leader Lu, we have so many armed soldiers. The wild wolves won't stand a chance." "Really?" Lu Ming asked anxiously. Qi Shaoan had seen many birds and beasts when he was an archaeologist. Of course, he knew a thing or two about wolves. Therefore, he was not afraid. The wolves had been intimidated by Xiaobai just now. They would not attack for a while. In fact, there was not much danger tonight. Qi Shaoan went into his tent without looking back. Tang Zheng followed closely behind and went into his bed. The other archaeologists with rich experience did not understand the key point. Seeing Qi Shaowen so carefree and fearless, they were much younger than him. Therefore, the archaeologists went back into their tents. Lu Ming stood there in a daze. He looked at the ferocious wolves that looked like they would charge at them at any time. His lips were dry and he was trembling. "Team leader Lu, what should we do?" asked a soldier. Lu Ming hesitated for a long time and said, "You're asking me what to do. What are you doing? You're here to protect us. Listen, don't let any wild wolves come near." Then, he turned around and went back to his tent. Early in the morning, everyone woke up one after another. Finally, they saw Lu Ming with dark circles under his eyes. It was obvious that he did not sleep at all last night. On the other hand, the archaeologists were in high spirits. "Let's move on. Ignore the wolves," Qi Shaowen ordered resolutely. Lu Ming was at his wits' end. He could only agree dejectedly. The wolves had been guarding them for the whole night. They were still ferocious and looked like they would charge at them at any time. Everyone packed their luggage and moved on. Perhaps it was because the wolves were following them, their speed was much faster. In half a day, they had climbed over a few mountains. The wolves were persistent. During this time, the wolves launched an attack. Under the sound of firecrackers, the wolves' attack was repelled. They could only stay far away. Obviously, the beasts were not willing to let their prey go so easily. However, there was nothing they could do. Suddenly, the wolf pack let out a howl and quickly retreated. The crowd immediately cheered, thinking that the wolf pack had finally given up. However, Tang Zhang's heart skipped a beat. He looked into the distance and immediately shouted, "Miasma, the miasma is coming." Whoosh! A gust of wind blew, and a miasma came with the wind. Everyone hurriedly put on their gas masks, but two people didn't have time to put on their masks. After breathing in a mouthful of miasma, they immediately fell to the ground and didn't get up. "Ah!" The crowd immediately screamed in horror. They had walked for a whole day yesterday and did not see the miasma at all. Today, they encountered it after walking for only half a day. Qi Shaowen's face darkened. He was still wondering why they did not encounter the miasma yesterday. Today, they encountered it unexpectedly. Moreover, the miasma was moving so fast that it caught them off guard. Seeing that someone had fallen, Qi Shaowen quickly rushed over to help one of them up. Tang Jing reacted quickly and helped another person up. "Let's go, let's get out of this area. Our masks won't last long," Qi Shaowen shouted. "Let's go." The crowd immediately moved. They rushed forward quickly, hoping to get out of this miasma area. Lu Ming felt as if the Grim Reaper had arrived. His legs turned to jelly and he could not walk. Two soldiers carried him forward. "Professor Qi, let me do it." Tang Jing took the team members from Qi Shaowen and supported them on both sides. "I'm strong. I can carry two people." Professor Qi looked at Tang Jing with gratification. He then glanced at Lu Ming, who was being carried away by the soldiers. His eyes flashed with contempt. The group of people staggered forward. Many of them had rich archaeological experience, but it was obviously their first time in the 100,000 Hills. They finally saw the ruins of the 100,000 Hills and realized that the rumors were true. This was not a place with good feng shui. As they ran, many people had to abandon the heavy equipment they had brought with them. However, the road seemed to have no end. The miasma was still everywhere. It was as if the entire world was shrouded in miasma. Tang Jing was shocked. He had encountered miasma before, but it was obvious that he had not encountered such a wide range of miasma. They had been walking for hours, but they still could not get out of the miasma area. If this situation continued, it would not be good. Oh no, the compass is broken. The GPS is not working. Suddenly, someone shouted and pointed at the instrument in his hand. Everyone was shocked. Without these two things, they would be lost. The 100,000 hills was not like the outside world. There was no way to find a way out. Getting lost meant death. Moreover, without these instruments, they would not be able to find the stone statues. Many people's mood had hit rock bottom. They did not expect to be in such a bad situation after only one day. Many people subconsciously looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming was finally able to walk. Although his expression couldn't be seen through the gas mask, it could be seen from his appearance that he was also out of his wits. If the leader of the archaeological team was like this, there was no hope for them this time. My gas mask is running out of air. Suddenly, someone shouted in panic. Chapter 393. There was no air in the gas mask, which meant that they had to inhale the miasma. After this cry, similar cries could be heard one after the other. Everything went wrong. The atmosphere suddenly became extremely oppressive, as if the god of death was about to descend. What should we do? There's no end to the miasma. Someone shouted in panic. Lu Ming could not do anything. He stared blankly at the crowd. Even the experienced Qi Shaoan was helpless. They did not expect the miasma to be so boundless. Moreover, after losing their way, they were like headless flies. It was very likely that they would go around in circles, let alone get out of this area. Tang Zheng felt the breath of the two people he was supporting getting weaker and weaker. His heart sank. The miasma he had encountered before did not have such a large radiation area. He had really miscalculated this time. Although he did not want these people to discover the witch tribe's tribe, he could not watch these people die. So he quickly put the two people he was supporting on the ground. When the others saw this, they all stopped. Lu Ming, who was anxious, was furious. He roared, "Tang Zheng, why did you stop? Do you want to get everyone killed?" "They're dying," Tang Zheng said calmly. Lu Ming's body stiffened. He gritted his teeth and said, "No, Delta 4, leave them here. We have to get out of here. Hurry up, don't delay." After saying that, he turned around and rushed forward. Everyone looked at him in disbelief. They did not expect him to abandon his teammates. They looked at each other, not knowing what to do. "I'm going to stay and save them," Tang Zheng said firmly. Everyone was moved. However, in their opinion, there was no saving them after inhaling so much miasma. Many people had lost their lives like this before. "Tang Zheng, are you sure?" Qi Shaoan asked anxiously. "Let's give it a try." Tang Zheng's uncertain tone made the others even more anxious. Someone shouted, "Let's get out of here quickly. Saving our lives is more important. We can't care so much." In an instant, most of the people in the team left. The few people who stayed behind were those who were close to the two wounded people, and those who were also running out of air. The soldiers who were supposed to protect the archaeological team obeyed Lu Ming's orders and were forced to move forward. These few people were isolated. At this moment, everyone was no longer thinking about archaeology, but about saving their lives. Some people even started crying. Qi Shaoan did not leave. He looked at Tang Zheng, who was squatting down to treat his team members. His heart was filled with mixed feelings. He thought to himself, "I shouldn't have brought him along. I didn't expect this mission to be so dangerous." "Professor Qi, what should we do?" asked the others. Without a doubt, Qi Shaoan was the backbone of this isolated army. Qi Shaoan pursed his lips. His lips were dry, but he couldn't say anything. "Ah!" Suddenly, a scream rang out, scaring the group of people to the point that their faces turned deathly white as they scattered in all directions. What happened? The two team members who had been unconscious woke up, but they were completely exposed to the miasma. Their eyes were wide open, and they were gasping for breath. At this moment, the miasma they breathed in did not seem to affect them at all. It was as if they were breathing normal air. What was going on? A big question mark appeared in everyone's minds. They stared at the two men in disbelief. How did they come back from the dead? We're not dead. That's great. The two men cheered loudly. Then, they turned to look at Tang Jing. The two men hadn't completely lost consciousness after inhaling the miasma. They knew that Tang Jing had been helping them the entire time, and that Tang Jing had saved them at the very last moment. The two were so moved that tears rolled in their eyes as they simultaneously bowed towards Tang Jing and gratefully said, "Tang Jing, thank you for saving us. We won't say too many words of gratitude. In the future, if there is anything we can do for you, we will do our best to help you." Hearing this, everyone turned to look at Tang Jing in unison. Qi Shaoan cut to the chase and asked, "Tang Jing, how did you cure them?" Tang Jing produced a porcelain bottle. "I have detoxification pills here." "Ah, why do you have detoxification pills?" This detoxification pill was a secret recipe of the sorcerer tribe. Of course, he had it. However, he couldn't tell anyone about it. So, he said, "I have a friend who is quite skilled in medicine. He gave this to me before. He said that it can cure some poisons. I fed it to them in a moment of desperation. I didn't expect it to work." Everyone cheered. They wanted to jump up and down. This was really a silver lining. With this pill, the miasma was no longer a threat. "How many detoxification pills do you have?" Qi Shaoan asked in surprise. "About 10. Tang Jing said. He didn't prepare many in the first place. However, there were only 10 people left, so it was enough. Everyone thought that those who ran away just now probably didn't expect that they would get the detoxification pills. This was really fate. A single thought had led to such a big change. However, no one blamed Tang Jing for not taking it out earlier. He didn't know that it could cure the miasma. Besides, if he had taken it out earlier, it wouldn't have been enough for 40 people. Now, it had benefited everyone. Everyone looked at Tang Jing with a different gaze, and they all revealed looks of gratitude. After taking off their gas masks and taking the detoxification pills, everyone felt as if they had been reborn. "Let's go catch up with the rest of the group. There are still a few detoxification pills left. We can save a few more people," Qi Shaoan said eagerly. However, they couldn't see far in the miasma. Those people had left for a while and they were nowhere to be found. After searching for a long time, they still couldn't find any trace of them. They couldn't help but feel helpless. Moreover, the miasma was boundless and there was no direction to follow. The key was how to get out of this area. Everyone looked at Tang Jing subconsciously. Obviously, after the detoxification pills, Tang Jing's status in their hearts had risen. "Tang Jing, which direction do you think we should go?" Qi Shaoan asked. He had pointed in the wrong direction just now, so he put his hope on Tang Jing. Before Tang Jing could answer, Xiaobai jumped down from Tang Jing's shoulder. It pointed in a direction with its paw and squeaked. Tang Jing's heart skipped a beat. Xiaobai was the holy beast of the sorcerer tribe. It had many miraculous abilities. Maybe it could really lead everyone out of this area. "Let's follow Xiaobai," Tang Jing said. Everyone looked at Xiaobai in surprise. Seeing that everyone was looking at it, Xiaobai raised its little head proudly. "It can lead us out of here." Some people couldn't believe it. Xiaobai was just a puppy in everyone's eyes. Suddenly, Someone exclaimed, "It wasn't affected by the miasma at all." That's right. Everyone only paid attention to people and ignored this little guy. The miasma didn't affect it at all. Everyone murmured in their hearts. They looked at Xiao Bai in disbelief. They couldn't help but believe it a little. Moreover, they had no choice but to give it a try. Xiao Bai led the way and everyone moved forward quickly. After a while, they came to the edge of a swamp. Looking at the swamp that swallowed people, everyone looked at each other in confusion. There was no way out. Xiao Bai pointed at the opposite side of the swamp and gestured. Tang Zheng understood it and said, "We'll be safe after we cross the swamp." Everyone suddenly realized that the swamp was the way out. They had passed by the swamp just now, but no one had suggested crossing it. "The inflatable boat isn't with us. They took it away." A loud shout made everyone's mood drop. The archaeological team had expected to cross the swamp, but most of the supplies were carried by the soldiers. The inflatable boat was one of them. However, the soldiers were taken away by Lu Ming. They couldn't swim across the swamp, could they? That would be suicide. How are we going to cross without the inflatable boat? Someone looked desperate. They didn't expect to fall into a hopeless situation again when there was hope for survival. "I have an idea. Everyone, please wait for a moment." Tang Zheng took a machete from someone and immediately found a small tree to chop. With just a few slashes, a small tree was cut down. Soon, dozens of small trees were lying on the ground. "You're going to make a raft?" Qi Shaoan asked in surprise when he saw the clue. "Yes, we can cross with a raft." The archaeological team members were all very capable. With the hope of survival, they immediately worked together. Not long after, a sturdy wooden raft was built. "Let's go," Tang Zheng said loudly. "Wait." Qi Shaoan paused, found a piece of paper, and wrote something on it. He then pasted it on a tree trunk. "There are teammates after all. Although we can't find them for now, if they find this place and discover the clues we left behind, they'll be able to make a raft and leave this area." Qi Shaoan was a kind person. Although he was abandoned by those people, he still didn't give up on them. Tang Zheng pushed the raft. The raft carried everyone and quickly moved to the other side of the swamp. The swamp was very vast. They couldn't see the end of it. It was like a small sea. Tang Zheng's martial arts were profound. Even though he was holding the boat by himself, he was still like an arrow leaving a bow. After an unknown period of time, the miasma gradually dissipated. Immediately, cheers thundered, "We are finally out, we are saved." Qi Shaoan heaved a sigh of relief. He patted Tang Zheng's shoulder and said, "Tang Zheng, it's all thanks to you that we're able to escape from death." "Thank you." Tang Zheng flashed a bright smile. "We're all team members. This is what I should do." Qi Shaoan nodded in relief. He had made the right choice in taking in such a disciple. It was a wise decision to bring him along this time. The raft reached the shore. Everyone quickly went ashore and breathed in the fresh air again. It was wonderful. Everyone's faces were full of smiles. "Tang Zheng, how do we go now?" someone asked. Before they knew it, Tang Zheng had become the backbone of this team. Qi Shaoan looked at Tang Zheng curiously. He was obviously asking for his opinion. Bang! Suddenly, there was a loud bang. One of the team members fell to the ground. Chapter 394. The sound was so loud that Tang Zheng immediately recognized it as a gunshot. How could there be a gunshot? He did not have time to think because one of the team members had fallen to the ground and was bleeding profusely. His head was tilted to the side. We're under attack. Everyone, get down and be careful of the bullets, Tang Jing yelled. In an instant, everyone fell to the ground in a panic. They had just escaped the wolf's den and entered the tiger's den. Most importantly, who else would have a gun in the wilderness other than the archaeological team? Bang, 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 a barrage of bullets came at them like a storm. Many trees were riddled with holes, but Tang Jing did not lie down. Instead, he leaped out like a leopard. Seeing this, Qi Shaoan panicked and shouted, Tang Jing, where are you going? It's dangerous. Professor Qi, all of you lie down. Don't follow me. I'll take care of these enemies. As soon as he finished speaking, Tang Jing had disappeared without a trace. None of the archaeological team members dared to get up. Someone asked in a daze, Professor Qi, why is your disciple so powerful? Tang Zhang's face looks familiar. I think I've seen him somewhere before, someone said suspiciously. In fact, Tang Zhang had gained quite a reputation after participating in the martial arts circle championship. However, that was only for those who cared about the martial arts circle championship. Many people still did not know much about him. They did not even know who he was, just like these archaeological professionals. He's the champion of this martial arts circle championship, Qi Shaoan explained. Ah, it's him. I was wondering why he looked so familiar. I've seen his picture on the internet before, someone exclaimed. I heard that he's very good at martial arts. With him around, we'll be much safer. Is he that good? Someone asked in confusion. Of course he's good. As a result, everyone chattered endlessly about Tang Jing. The bullets had already stopped, but no one got up. No one could predict where a bullet would come from. Tang Jing was like a spirit in the woods. He was as fast as lightning, making it impossible for the enemies to aim at him, let alone hit him. Tang Jing finally discovered the enemy a few hundred meters away. His eyes instantly burned with a raging flame. These people were well armed. At first glance, he could tell that they were not easy to deal with. Who are you people? Tang Jing asked angrily. Kill him. Avenge young Master Long. Suddenly, someone shouted. Bang! 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 Gunshots rang out, and the bullets shot towards Tang Jing like a tsunami. The place where he stood turned into a mess. But Tang Jing had already disappeared. Stop! Where is he? He should be dead by now, right? Everyone was bewildered. Suddenly, the sound of something breaking through the air came from above. Everyone subconsciously raised their heads and saw Tang Jing descending from the sky. The machete in his hand was suffused with a cold light. Fire! There were no gunshots because Tang Jing was like a cheetah, rushing into the crowd. He would not give anyone a chance to open fire. He had already figured out the other party's identity. These people were actually sent by the Long family. Long Xianyuan must have known that Long Tingyu had died in his hands, so he sent these people to take revenge. He was not afraid of these people, but he was worried about Long Xianyuan. If he was nearby, then he would be in danger. Therefore, he had to cut the Gordian knot. Figures flashed, and people kept falling to the ground. Tang Jing did not show mercy, and killed them all in one blow. After a while, there was only one leader left in the group of more than 10 people. Tang Jing took away the other party's pistol and pointed it at his chest. He asked with a murderous look, "Do you have any accomplices?" Tang Jing, you can't escape. Dianan is the territory of the Long family, you can't escape. Just wait, the patriarch will come and kill you. Is that so? You won't see that day. Bang! He pulled the trigger without hesitation and went back the way he came. He found that the archaeological team was still lying on the ground, looking around nervously. When they saw him coming back, they cheered, Tang Jing, how is it? It's okay, everyone get up. Tang Jing walked to the team member who was shot and found that the bullet did not hit the internal organs, but only the shoulder. However, blood was still flowing out. If he was not treated, he would die from excessive blood loss. The team doctor is with Lu Ming, how can we save him? Everyone surrounded the injured and did not know what to do. Don't worry, he's fine. Tang Jing used his true qi to stop the bleeding and used a trace of true qi to protect the other party's heart meridian. The injured person who fainted from the pain finally woke up. Don't move, 2 people come and support him. We have to leave here. Tang Jing said in a deep voice. Unconsciously, his body emitted a majestic aura, which was irresistible. Qi Shaoan asked curiously, who fired the gun just now? Tang Jing shook his head. I don't know, I've already chased them away. Don't worry. Tang Jing could not say that he had killed those people, otherwise it would cause panic. Who would come all the way to the 100,000 mountains? Qi Shaoan was filled with suspicion. Maybe it's a drug dealer. Isn't the 100,000 mountains close to the border? I've heard that drug trafficking is rampant here. Maybe a drug dealer accidentally entered the 100,000 mountains. Someone suddenly had an idea. Drug dealer. Everyone was stunned. These people were all bloodthirsty and vicious people. They were not to be trifled with. Let's get out of here. Qi Shaoan said nervously, we don't want to wait for them to come back. That would be troublesome. Tang Jing, we can only count on you to protect us. Yes, Tang Jing. You're the champion of the martial arts circle competition. You can protect us, right? Everyone looked at Tang Jing eagerly. Tang Jing was as clear as a mirror. It seemed that his identity was exposed. He nodded and said, don't worry, everyone. I'll do my best. But this mission is dangerous. I think it's best to leave the 100,000 mountains. No, we've already come this far. We can't back out. Besides, we're already lost. It's not that easy to go back. We can only move forward based on our intuition. I've studied it carefully before. I think it's this way. Qi Shaoan pointed in a direction. Tang Jing's heart skipped a beat. Qi Shaoan was very experienced. The direction he pointed was the direction of the witch tribe. However, they did not give up. Tang Jing did not mind. After all, the witch tribe was protected by the illusion formation. It was impossible for them to break through it. The group continued to move forward. Tang Jing walked in front to scout the way. They were already deep in the mountains. There were obviously more ferocious beasts, but they were all defeated by Tang Jing. When night fell, Tang Jing even killed a wild boar for everyone's dinner. Everyone set up their tents and rested. Tang Jing stayed by the campfire. Xiao Bai rested on his shoulder. The night was full of shadows. It was as if there were many ferocious beasts watching their team in the dark. Tang Jing closed his eyes to rest. He was not affected at all. Suddenly, Qi Shaoan walked to him and sat down. He said slowly, Tang Jing, you've been in the 100,000 mountains for 2 days. How do you feel? It's okay. The scenery here is different from the city. It's a different experience, Tang Jing said calmly. Qi Shaoan smiled and said, you think it's easy. But this journey is so dangerous. This is something I didn't expect. To be honest, I don't know if we'll be able to make it out alive. Ah, Professor Qi, don't be so pessimistic. If we can come in, we can definitely get out. Qi Shaoan shook his head and said, don't be so optimistic. Let me tell you, all the instruments are malfunctioning. I'm just following my gut. I'm not sure if I can find the ancient site. But this is a big discovery in the archaeology world. No matter how difficult it is, I'll try. Tang Jing could understand Qi Shaowen's feelings. However, this was related to the witch tribe's order. He could not compromise. He could only apologize in his heart. Of course, he would not let these people die here. When the time came, he would bring them out of the 100,000 mountains. Tang Jing, I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse for me to bring you here. You won't blame me, right? Qi Shaowen asked. He felt a little guilty. Tang Jing said casually, Professor Qi, I should thank you for giving me this opportunity. Why would I blame you? I'm glad you don't blame me. You should rest early. Qi Shaowen stood up. It's okay. I'll rest here tonight in case the beasts come. Thank you for your hard work. The night was uneventful. At dawn, everyone got up and washed up. They knew that according to the plan, they were not far from their destination. As long as they were in the right direction, they would arrive at their destination in a little while. While everyone was washing up, a sudden rush of footsteps came from afar. Everyone's nerves immediately tensed. Someone's coming. Everyone, be careful. Hide. Tang Jing did not know who was coming and hurriedly shouted. Immediately, everyone looked for a place to hide. They craned their necks and looked in the direction of the footsteps. After a while, a small group of people came over. Ah, it's Lu Ming and the others. The crowd let out a cry of alarm and ran out one after another. The people who came were indeed Lu Ming and the others. However, these people were in a very sorry state and looked exhausted. More importantly, there were only 10 people left in the original team of 30 people. When these people saw Tang Jing and the others, they all had a look of disbelief. They rushed over and the others quickly went up to help those who were staggering. You're finally here. Where are the others? Why are there only a few of you? Professor Qi supported Lu Ming and asked with concern. Lu Ming's face was a little pale. He did not answer immediately. Instead, he glanced at the crowd and found that the other party was not missing people. He could not help but be surprised. Wah, the others are all dead. Someone sat on the ground and burst into tears. What, they're all dead? Qi Shaowen was shocked. 20 people had died. That was a great loss. If we didn't find the note you left behind, we wouldn't have been able to walk out. We would all have died there. Someone else said. Lu Ming's expression gradually turned cold. He looked at the crowd and asked, How come none of you are dead? How did you do it? Author's digression, there was a chapter that was not shown because of the website. I'll ask the editor to fix it tomorrow. Chapter 395. What do you mean by that? Is it our fault that we didn't lose any members? Someone retorted in dissatisfaction. Obviously, everyone had a lot of complaints about Lu Ming abandoning his teammates and running away. They were all in the wrong. Hearing this, Lu Ming said, We sacrificed so much to escape, but you are safe and sound. And the two of you, you were clearly poisoned by the miasma at that time and were unconscious. Why are you safe and sound now? You'll only be happy if we die. That's ridiculous. The two men were furious and glared at Lu Ming. Lu Ming was unmoved. Anyway, I need an explanation. Explain to your mother. How dare you insult your superior? Do you not want your job anymore? If you don't want it, get out. Lu Ming said arrogantly. It's none of my business. Who do you think you are? What bullsh** T team leader? This is the first time I've seen a team leader who only knows how to run for his life. Besides, your words don't count. Don't think that I'm afraid of you just because you're sent here by the higher-ups. Professor Chi is the real expert in archaeology. He's the one who calls the shots here. Lu Ming turned to Qi Shaowen and said, Professor Qi, what do you think we should do with this lawless person? Qi Shaowen was also unhappy with Lu Ming. He said flatly, we sacrificed a lot to get out of that miasma area. No one has the right to tell us what to do. You. Lu Ming was speechless when he saw Qi Shaowen defending the man. Tang Zhang had been watching from the sidelines. Lu Ming was really bureaucratic. He really thought he was a big shot. Lu Ming's chest heaved and he took a few deep breaths to suppress his anger. He said, we found a lot of bodies on our way here. Do you know who did it? Tang Zhang's heart tensed up. It seemed that they had met the group of people from the Long family. Before he could reply, someone had already said, it must be the drug dealers. We were attacked by the drug dealers earlier, and some of them were injured. Luckily Tang Zhang chased them away. Drug dealers. Why are there drug dealers here? Besides, the drug dealers are so powerful. How could they die for no reason? Anne. Lu Ming stared at Tang Zhang. What ability does he have to chase away the vicious drug dealers? Don't look down on him. Tang Zhang is the champion of the martial arts conference. Don't you think he's capable? Don't be all talk and no action. Besides, this place is bordered by neighboring countries. It has always been a heavily trafficked area. What's so strange about drug dealers? Tang Zhang's team had been completely united as one. Lu Ming alone wouldn't be able to gain any advantage. The champion of the martial arts tournament. Lu Ming and the others were shocked. Soon after, Lu Ming laughed disdainfully, as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. What a joke. You guys were actually fooled by his flowery words. What champion? You're just bragging about yourself. Everyone wanted to explain further, but Tang Zhang stopped them with his eyes and said, is there a need to flaunt your tongue here? Don't tell me we're not in a hurry. We've been on the road all night and haven't rested yet. What's the hurry? Lu Ming said unhappily. Then let them rest. Qi Shaowen said. Tang Zhang didn't say anything else. Clap clap clap. Suddenly, a crisp sound of applause rang out. Everyone was shocked and immediately looked towards the direction of the sound. They saw 3 people walking out of the forest. You guys continue. The show isn't over yet. Who are you? Lu Ming immediately stood up and asked arrogantly. Tang Zhang looked at the 3 people. His nerves immediately tensed up. He cursed. How did they find him so quickly? These 3 people were Marshall and the 2 elders. The 3 of them looked rather unfriendly. Marshall arrogantly said, you don't have the qualifications to talk to me. Get lost. Lu Ming flew into a rage and said, what did you say? Could it be that you're a drug dealer? As soon as his voice fell, several soldiers immediately pulled out their guns and aimed at the 3 people. They had already become frightened birds. In this mountain, any unfamiliar face could mean danger. Marshall and the other 2 acted as if they didn't see anything. Marshall disdainfully said, you think you can show off with just these few fire sticks? Don't move. Otherwise, I'll let you have a taste of the bullets. Lu Ming also had a pistol in his hand. He aimed it at the 3 people. If you say don't move, then don't move. You can try shooting. Marshall fearlessly walked over. Bang! Lu Ming finally couldn't endure this powerful aura. He pulled the trigger. The bullet whistled out, but Marshall didn't move at all. She didn't dodge, but the bullet flew past her. It didn't hurt her at all. Lu Ming's marksmanship was just too bad. Caw! After running out of bullets, Lu Ming was still pulling the trigger. Marshall had already walked in front of him. Seeing this, the other gunman also wanted to pull the trigger. However, a figure flashed and the fourth elder moved. Everyone only felt a blur in front of their eyes as all the guns were taken away by the fourth elder. They were twisted together like fried dough twists. Everyone was dumbstruck. This strength was just too terrifying. What are you doing? Lu Ming's legs trembled. He didn't expect that after escaping from death, he would meet such a group of people with such terrifying strength. Scram to the side. I'm not in the mood to talk to you. Marshall coldly said. Lu Ming felt as if he had been pardoned. His forehead was covered in cold sweat. His body stiffly moved away. Even his breathing was not smooth. Of course, Marshall had no interest in entangling with this kind of person. Her target was Tang Jing. Her gaze locked onto Tang Jing. However, she saw that the other party's expression was normal. She couldn't help but shiver and said, Tang Jing, you made us look for you so hard. Tang Jing said without batting an eyelid, what do you want to do? Of course we want to kill you. The first elder strode over and said with a murderous aura. Kill. Everyone was shocked. They all looked at Tang Jing. So these three people were here for him. Moreover, they wanted to kill him. Qi Shaoan suddenly stepped forward and said, do you dare to kill someone in broad daylight? This is a crime. Do you know that? Haha, it's a crime. Who dares to say anything when my martial organization does things? The first elder said disdainfully, if you don't want to die, then scram. The one we want to kill is Tang Jing. It has nothing to do with anyone else. However, if you are his accomplices, then we don't mind killing you all together. No, we are not his accomplices. The one you want to deal with is Tang Jing. It has nothing to do with us. We will leave immediately. We definitely won't delay you. Lu Ming said hurriedly. He was frightened by the other party's actions. If they were not even afraid of guns, then wouldn't it be easy to deal with them? Shut up. Greedy for life and afraid of death. Qi Shaoan roared angrily. The one they are looking for is Tang Jing, not us, so why should we accompany him to die? Moreover, I don't think this little brat is a good person, so he deserves to die. Lu Ming indignantly said. What are you talking about? Our lives were saved by Tang Jing. You have no right to criticize him. Many people said with righteous indignation. You don't want to leave. Then you can die with him. Marshall said calmly. If you don't leave, then I will. I won't die with him. Lu Ming said hurriedly and turned to leave. Tang Jing, we will fight with them. If they want to kill you, they will have to break my old bones. Qi Shaoan stepped forward bravely and said fearlessly. Looking at everyone's sincere eyes, Tang Jing smiled and said, thank you for everyone's good intentions, but this is my personal matter, so there is no need for everyone to get involved. It won't be that easy for these people to kill me. Tang Jing, they have the advantage in numbers. We will help you. If we work together, I don't believe we can't beat them. Someone suggested. Don't try to persuade me. You have to believe in me. I will find you. Let's go. Tang Jing persuaded. No, we won't go. If we die together. In that case, there is no need to go. Let's die with him. Suddenly, the fourth elder roared and went deep into the lightning. He directly grabbed the neck of the person next to him. Stop! Tang Jing shouted to stop him, his body moved, and rushed forward. Everyone hurry up and leave, believe me, I will definitely not die. Professor Qi, hurry up and take them away, otherwise if you stay here, you will distract me. Bang! Tang Jing was one step ahead and saved the team member from the fourth elder's hand. The team member's face was pale. You came at the right time. Kid, today is the day you die. The fourth elder shouted disdainfully. He reached out his hand and grabbed Tang Zheng's head with the dragon claw. Tang Zheng did not dodge. He counterattacked with the heaven-gathering hand. The two men separated as soon as they touched each other. However, they quickly fought again. It was hard to tell who had the upper hand. The archaeological team's breathing uncontrollably became hurried. Only now did they understand that Tang Zheng's skills were actually so terrifying. Everyone, let's go. Don't waste any more time. Professor Qi, I beg you. Please take everyone away. Seeing that everyone was still indifferent, Tang Zheng could not help but be extremely anxious, and hurriedly advised. Everyone, let's go. We can't be Tang Zheng's burden. Qi Shaoan hesitated for a moment. After weighing the pros and cons, he said resolutely. Tang Zheng, you have to be careful. It's too late for you to leave now. The first elder suddenly spoke. He blocked the archaeological team's path like a ghost. Elder, these are just ordinary people. There's no need to kill innocent people. Wu advised. The great elder remained unmoved. Being together with Tang Zheng is the same as being a demon. We must catch them all in one go. The first elder charged towards Qi Shaoan. Seeing this, Tang Zheng jumped in fright and shouted, no. However, he was too busy fighting with the fourth elder to save Qi Shaoan. Whoosh! Suddenly, a white shadow slammed into the first elder's stomach like a flash of lightning. The first elder staggered backward and fell on his butt. The archaeological team took the opportunity to retreat. They disappeared into the forest in the blink of an eye. The first elder stood up angrily. He finally saw the culprit, Xiao Bai. Xiao Bai was still baring his teeth at him and squeaking. What the hell is this? The great elder was well aware of the force behind the collision, and he was shocked that it was caused by this little thing. Thus, he couldn't care less about the escaping archaeological team and stared at Little White without blinking. Chapter 396. The great clan elder stared at Xiao Bai for a long time, but he was still unable to determine what kind of animal it was. However, when he saw Xiao Bai baring its teeth at him, the great clan elder's eyes turned cold, and released a biting cold light. The egg was moved to the wrong place. Little bastard, I'll kill you first. The great clan elder's figure flashed, and he rushed towards Xiao Bai. In his eyes, this was an easy task. Suddenly, a white figure flashed, and Xiao Bai disappeared in front of him without any warning. Boom! Flames soared into the sky, and attacked the great clan elder from behind. The great clan elder's heart trembled, and he immediately pounced forward, dodging the calamity in a sorry state. However, the clothes on his back had already been burnt beyond recognition, and were charred black. The great clan elder crawled up in a sorry state, and stared at Xiao Bai in shock, only to see it proudly raising its head and pouting. This. What kind of monster is this? Wu Yi stared at Xiao Bai with his mouth agape, while the fourth elder immediately stopped fighting and looked at Xiao Bai in disbelief. Suddenly, Wu Yi exclaimed, could it be a demonic beasts? Demonic beasts? The two elders turned pale with fright. Although they had always been hunting martial artists, they had never seen a demonic beasts before. Why would Tang Zheng have a demonic beasts accompanying him? The three of them were puzzled. Furthermore, this demonic beasts looked too harmless, completely unlike the ferocious and terrifying demonic beasts in legends. Tang Zheng waved his hand, and Xiao Bai immediately jumped onto his shoulder. Since the archaeological team had already left, he did not care about exposing his strength. He patted Xiao Bai's head, and stared at the enemy without fear. Brat, we have underestimated you in the past. It seems like you are not a small character. No matter who is behind you, your identity as a cultivator has doomed you to death. Kill! The great clan elder roared, and pulled out the treasured sword he carried with him. Although you are a cultivator and have a demonic beast accompanying you, in the end, your cultivation is too weak. Go and die. Shwa! The sword light blotted out the sky and was incomparably dazzling. This side of the world was instantly submerged by the sword light. Every blade of grass, every object, and even the air seemed to be on the verge of being torn apart by the sword light. Tang Zheng immediately took out the battle soul sword. With a flash of black light, the battle soul flew out from the sword. Its huge body was like a huge monster as it pounced towards the great elder. Swoosh! The sword light flashed, riddling the war spirit's body with thousands of holes. The war spirit roared incessantly, and the temperature between heaven and earth seemed to drop to the freezing point in an instant. What kind of monster is this? The great elder frowned. Ghosts. Marshall stared blankly at the battle spirit, memories flashing through her mind. Scenes of her intense battle with a ghost general. The Denzine Qi on the ghost general's body was extremely similar to the battle spirit's aura, leaving a deep impression on her. Ah! Suddenly, Marshall let out a miserable cry. He hugged his head and squatted on the ground. It was as if something had drilled into his head. It was extremely painful. Scenes flashed through her mind one after another, finally interweaving into a complete memory. It was incomparably clear. Marshall, what happened to you? The fourth elder quickly asked with concern. Marshall suddenly raised his head, killing intent bursting out, his gaze locked onto Tang Zheng. He was exceptionally complicated as he muttered to himself, so it was him. Back then, I went to the ordinary balance for him. He was that cultivator, but I was heavily injured and inexplicably lost that memory. The aura of the battle spirit was no different from the aura of the ghost general, so it triggered the deepest memories in her mind, allowing her to finally recover her memories. However, all of this clearly came too late. Tang Zheng has a great relationship with the Marshall sect. The sect master once told me that I must bring him back to the Marshall sect. This time, I must capture him alive. Marshall's expression gradually turned cold. Marshall, what happened to you just now? The fourth elder asked. Fourth elder, I have finally recovered my memories. Tang Zheng is the main culprit who caused me to lose my memories in the ordinary balance. Marshall said. What? It's him. The fourth elder flew into a rage. The Marshall sect had suffered a great loss in the ordinary balance. Moreover, it was inexplicable and they did not find the person behind the scenes. So all of this was caused by Tang Zheng. It was truly a small world. Tang Zheng did not have the heart to pay attention to Marshall because although he had the help of the battle spirit, the great elder of the Marshall sect was actually a great master. After fighting for a while, Tang Zheng knew that he was not his opponent. Brat, you are dead for sure. Do you think that with a ghost and a demonic beast, you are my opponent? You are looking down on my Marshall sect too much. The great elder said angrily. With a slash, Tang Zheng raised the battle spirit to block but was forced back a few steps by the huge force. Before he could stabilize himself, the great elder's sword was already in front of him. Boom! The battle spirit hurriedly stood in front of Tang Zheng to protect him. One of his arms was immediately cut off and turned into strands of black yin qi. The battle spirit roared non-stop and rushed forward again. Shwa shwa. With another 2 slashes, the battle spirit's other arm and leg flew up. However, the battle spirit still relied on one leg to stand proudly. It opened its mouth and bit towards the great elder. You don't know the difference between life and death. Then I will let your soul scatter. The great elder also understood the battle spirit's strength. The gap between him and the battle spirit was too large, so he was not afraid. He slashed out again, determined to cut off the battle spirit's head. Tang Zheng was overwhelmed with shock and hurriedly said, "Battle spirit, come back." So, the battle spirit disappeared and was absorbed by the battle spirit. Tang Zheng waved the battle spirit and used the heaven-flying immortal sword technique to finally block the killing blow. His arm trembled and the battle spirit seemed to fly out of his hand. With a thought, the battle spirit disappeared and was kept in the summer pouch. "Ha, brat, your sword technique is very powerful, but your power is too weak. You want to fight with me?" "Wishful thinking," the great elder said in disdain. Tang Zheng snorted. With a wave of his finger, he finally took out the heaven-shocking bow. The three of them were dazzled by Tang Zheng's magical transformation of weapons. Tang Zheng's fingers pulled on the bowstring, and the great elder laughed disdainfully. "Ha, a bow without an arrow, do you think it still has any lethality?" Tang Zheng did not say anything, he only silently pulled on the bowstring, and the heaven-shocking bow turned into a full moon. Wu suddenly remembered the situation in the valley. This was the divine bow that did not use any arrows. Back then, the demon god had suffered a loss from this divine bow. "Great elder, be careful. This is a divine bow. You don't need any arrows to kill enemies." Wu immediately reminded loudly. But Tang Zheng's movements were even faster than her words. Just as she opened her mouth, Tang Zheng had already released his fingers. Whang! The bowstring trembled, and the air was compressed to the extreme. Then, it began to fluctuate violently, as if it was boiling. The great clan elder's face changed. He instantly realized that something was wrong. He immediately roared, held his sword with both hands, and fiercely slashed forward. Boom! With a loud sound, smoke and dust rose in all directions. The great clan elder was completely wrapped up in smoke and dust, making it impossible to see his situation clearly. At this moment, Wu had just finished speaking, and both she and the fourth elder looked at this scene at the same time, dumbstruck. "Great clan elder!" The fourth elder cried out in alarm and immediately rushed forward. Wu stared at Tang Zheng with her mouth agape. The feeling this arrow gave her was even more terrifying than the arrow in the valley back then, a kind of trembling that came from her soul. She knew very well that she had no way of retaliating against this arrow. Tang Zheng did not have the time to pay attention to him. He turned around and ran, turning into a bolt of lightning. He rushed into the forest. "Brat, don't run." A thunderous roar sounded out, the smoke and dust dissipated, and the great clan elder's figure appeared once again. However, at this moment, he was in a sorry state. His clothes were tattered, his face and body were covered in dust, there was a large pit under his feet, and the treasured sword in his hand had been broken into two. "Great clan elder, are you all right?" The fourth elder asked anxiously. "I won't die. Chase, I must catch up to that brat. I will tear him into 10,000 pieces." The great clan elder jumped out of the pit, looked at the treasured sword in his hand with a pained expression, and chased after him. The fourth elder and marshal also quickly chased after him. A moment later, 4 people appeared beside the big pit. It was the demon god, Louis, Wales and Sawada Ichiro. The demon god observed the big pit for a while and said, "Tang Zheng was here just now. It seems like an intense battle just happened. Who is the other side?" Sawada Ichiro asked curiously. "People from the martial sect." Louis laughed unfathomably. "As far as I know, the people from the martial sect have already entered the 10,000 huge mountains." "Humph, martial sect, this time we'll make sure they don't return," the demon god said with killing intent. "Let's go and catch up to them." Tang Zheng sprinted, and the trees on both sides quickly disappeared behind him. Although he did not hear any movements behind him, there was no doubt that the martial sect's pursuers were not far behind him. "Lord Envoy!" Suddenly, a group of people rushed out from the side. It was Yi Yuan and a few Witch Clan clansmen. Lord Envoy, we've finally found you. Why are you here? Tang Jing stopped in his tracks. Lord Envoy, ever since you fell into the miasma, we lost track of you and have been searching for you. The heavens have opened their eyes and finally allowed us to find you. Yi Yuan said excitedly. I'm fine. It's not good to stay here for long. Hurry up and leave. Tang Jing said. Lord Envoy, is there an enemy? Yi Yuan immediately saw through the clues and asked. Yes, a very powerful enemy. Brat, let's see where you can run to. A furious roar suddenly sounded out. A figure flashed, and the three people from the martial sect quickly caught up. Tang Jing sighed regretfully. The people from the martial sect were really powerful. He had only delayed for a while, but the other party had already caught up. The key was that the people from the Witch Clan had also been exposed. Seeing the Witch Clan, the three of them stopped in their tracks and looked at them in disbelief. They asked, who are these people? Cultivator. Wu Wu cried out in alarm. So many cultivators. The two elders were very surprised. They had been hunting cultivators all day, and the number of cultivators they had seen had decreased over the years. They never thought that so many would suddenly appear. The two elders' eyes glowed red, as if they were hunters who had seen their prey. They said excitedly, the heavens are helping me. Today, I will catch them all in one fell swoop. Chapter 397. Yi Yuan looked at the three of them curiously and asked, Lord Envoy, who are these people? Someone from the martial sect. Egg TT is wrong. Martial sect. Yi Yuan already knew what the martial sect was doing, and could not help but fly into a rage. Are they the ones who hunted us cultivators? Lord Envoy, we cannot let them leave. Lord Envoy. The three of them looked at Tang Jing in astonishment, wondering what kind of position this so-called Lord Envoy had, but seeing the other party protecting Tang Jing so much, it meant that his identity was not simple. The three of them were not afraid. Instead, it was as if they had discovered a new continent. They thought that they had dug out Tang Jing's background. The harvest from this trip to southern Yunnan is really too great. I suspect that they have an organization and must be uprooted. The great elder said with killing intent. Arrogant, you still dare to be so arrogant in the 10,000 huge mountains. Yi Yuan was furious, and before he finished speaking, he rushed out like a cannonball. Boom! The great clan elder retaliated, causing Yi Yuan's skin to glow with a golden light. He quickly retreated, broke a tree trunk, and stopped. So powerful. Yi Yuan stared at his fist and said in surprise. Humph, you overestimate yourself. Let's see how you guys escape this time. Kill, don't use your hands, show mercy. With the great clan elder's order, the fourth elder and martial elder attacked at the same time. Charge! Yi Yuan roared, and rushed forward with the other clansmen. Tang Jing secretly sighed. This time, there was no chance for him to escape, so he unceremoniously joined the battle. Without a doubt, the average fighting strength of the three martial sect S was definitely higher than that of the Witch Clan S, but there were more than 10 Witch Clan S, so they had the advantage in numbers. Furthermore, they lived in the forest all year round, so their use of the terrain and environment could be said to be perfect. In addition, after the witch tribesmen learned the chaotic golden body technique, their skin was rough and their flesh was thick, and their resistance to attacks soared. When the fourth elder's weapon struck Yi Yuan's body, sparks actually exploded, leaving behind marks, but it did not penetrate his skin. Xiao Bai also jumped down from Tang Zheng's shoulder and shuttled through the crowd. Every time he saw an opportunity, he would unrestrainedly spit out fire, often catching Wu and the fourth elder off guard. Especially the fourth elder, whose beard and eyebrows were all burned bald by the fire, making him look extremely comical. Tang Zheng had previously used the heaven-shocking bow to cause the great clan elder to suffer a loss, but now, the great clan elder already knew how powerful the heaven-shocking bow was, so every time Tang Zheng pulled the bowstring, he would always be able to cleverly dodge it, causing Tang Zheng to be rather impatient. The two sides were in a stalemate for a while. Then, a scream of agony rang out. One of the sorcerer tribesmen finally took a hit and fell to the ground, bleeding profusely. Seeing that, Tang Zheng shouted out loud, but he was powerless to do anything. He was entangled by the great clan elder and had no time to do anything. "Ha, Tang Zheng, I want you to watch them die one by one." The great clan elder laughed sinisterly. Screams rang out one after another. After a long time, the witch tribesmen's decline began to show. Although they had the advantage in numbers, the other party was a true expert. The difference between the two sides was not something that could be made up for by numbers. Tang Zheng's eyes were about to spit fire. Seeing that another person was about to be hit, he suddenly turned around and rushed towards that person. Whiz! An invisible arrow shot out and finally saved that person first. However, the great clan elder's eyes were sharp and his hands were fast, slapping his back with his palm. Bang! Tang Zheng spat out a mouthful of blood and flew out. While he was in the air, he aimed at Wu and pounced towards her. While Wu was fighting with Yi Yuan, she suddenly felt a gust of wind above her head. Before she could even raise her head to look, she realized that her throat had been grabbed by someone. Stop! Tang Zheng did not care about the burning pain on his back, as if his spine was about to break, and shouted loudly. Everyone stopped at the same time. The two elders were shocked. They never thought that Tang Zheng had an ulterior motive. His rescue of the witch tribesmen was just a feint. His goal was to capture Wu, and he had succeeded. "If you attack again, I'll kill her," Tang Zheng said with killing intent. "No." The great clan elder hurriedly stopped her. Wu was the sect master's disciple. If she died, the sect master would blame them and they would not be able to bear the consequences. "If you don't want her to, then obediently retreat. Brat, you won't be able to escape." "Humph, is that so? At most, we'll just fight to the death, but she won't be able to live either," Tang Zheng said fearlessly. The two elders looked at each other in dismay and could only retreat. "Tang Zheng, if you kill me, you will never know the secret of that jade pendant. However, if you follow me back to the martial sect, you will be able to get the answer you want," Wu said calmly. "Follow you back to the martial sect? Isn't that walking right into a trap? Don't you want to know the secret of that jade pendant?" Tang Zheng was silent. His feelings towards the jade pendant that was related to his background were very complicated. He wanted to know the secret behind it, but he was also afraid to know. He was afraid that his background was related to the martial sect. Now that he was a cultivator, he was the enemy of the martial sect. If his background was related to the martial sect, then he would be the one in the cracks. He didn't know what to do. "Follow me back to the martial sect. I can guarantee your safety," Wu advised in a low voice. Seeing the two of them muttering to each other, the great clan elder said worriedly, "Brat, if you dare to harm a single hair on his head, I can guarantee that all of you will be buried with him." Tang Zheng coldly snorted. He was unmoved, and said to Yi Yuan, "Lead your clansmen and leave first, I will cover the rear." "Lord Envoy, you absolutely can't," Yi Yuan shouted. "This is an order. Are you going to disobey my orders?" Tang Zheng said with a gloomy face. "I don't dare." Yi Yuan lowered his head, had people help the injured clansman up, and retreated step by step towards the direction of the witch tribe. "Ha, such an intense battle. Fortunately, we haven't arrived too late." It's a good show. Suddenly, a strange laughter sounded out, and a group of people walked out from the dark forest. Everyone looked towards the source of the voice, and their pupils could not help but shrink. Tang Zheng was greatly shocked. The archaeological team was among them, but the archaeological team had become captives. Qi Shaoan still had a katana on his neck, and the people who kidnapped them were actually the demon gods group. The demon god clapped his hands and said, "This time, all of you have gathered together. You can save me the trouble of looking for all of you." Demon god. Wuji stared at the other party and exclaimed. The two elders widened their eyes and glared at him, saying, "You are the demon god." "Huh, the two great elders of the martial sect, right? Didn't you want to find cultivators? With so many cultivators in front of you today, let's see how you can kill your way here." The demon god jokingly said, "Tang Zheng, kill the woman in your hands first, then surrender. Otherwise, I will deal with your companions first." "Tang Zheng, don't listen to him. Hurry up and run." Qi Shaoan shouted with all the strength in his body. "Ha, how touching. If you dare to run, try and see if this sharp blade can cut his throat." "Woo, demon god, I have no grievances with you. Hurry up and let us go. The person you want to kill is Tang Zheng, not me. I have nothing to do with him." Lu Ming suddenly burst into tears. This archaeological expedition had been full of twists and turns. If he had known this would happen, he would not have come even if he was beaten to death. So afraid of death. If you don't want to die, then tell Tang Zheng to surrender. Otherwise, you will die without a doubt. The demon god laughed. Lu Ming said with a long face, "Tang Zheng, I have no grievances with you. Why do you want to harm me? I knew I shouldn't have let you join the archaeological team. This time, everyone is dead because of you. Are you satisfied?" "Shut up, Lu Ming. You are such a coward. It is a disgrace to be associated with you." Qi Shaoan shouted angrily. "Professor Qi, it's your business if you want to be buried with him. I don't want to die, and neither do the rest of us. Besides, this has nothing to do with us. We're here for archaeology. We're here to find the 4 stone statues." Lu Ming rattled on. He was afraid of the demon god and the others, but he was not afraid of Tang Zheng and Qi Shaoan. "Stone statues. You are here to find the stone statues?" Suddenly, the demon god interrupted Lu Ming's chatter. "Yes, we are here to find the stone statues. I have photos here. They are in my bag." Then, he quickly took off his bag and took out a few photos. These photos were taken by a satellite in outer space. The 4 stone statues were clearer than the rest. The devil god's eyes went wide, and he couldn't look away. Eventually, he laughed maniacally and said, "Ha ha ha. The heavens are helping me. The 4 manifestations paragon, who has disappeared for countless years, is actually in the 100,000 mountains. The venerable 4 symbols?" Everyone was shocked, especially Tang Zheng and the people of the witch tribe. They only knew that the 4 stone statues were the guardians of the witch tribe, but they did not know their real names. "As long as I have the venerable 4 symbols, no one in this world can be my opponent. What martial arts grandmaster? They are all useless." "Humph," the demon god said solemnly. "Where exactly are the venerable 4 symbols?" The demon god asked anxiously. "I don't know, but they are in the Shirwan Mountains." You are still useful. You actually told me such useful information." The demon god patted Lu Ming's shoulder and praised him. Lu Ming's face immediately bloomed into a smile. He said flatteringly, "Then, Lord Demon God, can you let me go? I will let you die a quick death." The demon god said with a smile. Lu Ming's face turned pale as if he had lost his parents. Tang Jing, have you thought about it? After dealing with you, I still need to find the Venerable Four Symbols. Don't waste my time. The demon god said impatiently. Alright, let them go. I'll give up resisting. Tang Jing released Wu and did not kill her. Wu and the demon god were enemies, so of course he would not help the demon god get rid of an enemy. Lord Envoy, you absolutely can't. The witch tribesmen who had already retreated a distance rushed forward again without a care for their own safety and advised in panic. Lord Envoy. When did he become the Lord Envoy? Who are these people? The demon god stared at the witch tribesmen. They're all cultivators. Brat, who are these people? We are the servants of the Lord Envoy. If you want to kill him, kill us first. Yi Yuan stepped forward and said angrily. This way it will be even more interesting. Tang Jing, not only do you have to surrender, even your servants have to surrender. There is actually a group of cultivators in this Shirwan Mountains. There must be a huge secret behind this. It really is not a wasted trip. Hurry up, I don't have the patience. Surrender immediately, or else I will kill them all. Don't kill them, I'll just do it. Tang Zhang was in a dilemma. If he did not surrender, the other party's people would die. If he surrendered, then his and the witch tribesmen's lives would be in danger. Chapter 398. Seeing that Tang Jing was about to be captured, everyone was extremely anxious, especially Qi Shaoan, who kept shouting loudly in an attempt to stop it. The sorcerer tribesmen also tried to persuade him, but to no avail. Please copy this address into your browser to see the first page. Tang Jing walked towards the demon god step by step, and the demon god revealed a smug smile. Hiss! A strange sound rang out without warning. The vines on the ground began to move, and like pythons, they quickly wrapped themselves around the legs of the demonic god and the other three. What's going on? The demon god cried out in alarm. Just as he finished speaking, the vines had already wrapped him up like a big dumpling. Run! Suddenly, Tang Jing came back to his senses and reminded him loudly. Although he didn't know what was going on, how could he miss such a rare opportunity? Thus, he leaped into the air and saved Qi Shaoan. Then, he quickly retreated. The others also quickly broke free from the control and ran far away. No one knew what was going on, but it was obvious that the four of them had been ambushed, giving the archaeological team a chance to survive. Who is it? With a loud roar, the vines on the demon god's body were blown to pieces, and they quickly retreated in all directions. Qi, the demonic god's body emitted a bright red mist of blood, looking extremely ferocious. Who is sneak attacking me? The blood-red eyes swept over, but did not find the culprit. You don't want to show yourself, huh? Then I'll force you to show yourself. The demon god waved his hand, and the blood blade appeared in his hand. He swung it through the air. Whoosh! Whoosh! Streaks of blood-red light shot out from the blood blade and spread in all directions. Get down! Tang Jing turned pale with fright and shouted. Everyone subconsciously fell to the ground. The sky full of blood flew past everyone's scalps. Rumble! With a series of earth-shattering sounds, the towering trees in all directions were snapped in half and collapsed with a loud rumble. The vines even fled in all directions, letting go of Louis and the other two. Everyone was shocked when they saw this. If they were hit by this bloody light, they would be cut in half at the waist. You've finally shown yourself. The demon god laughed sinisterly. After the tree fell, the people hiding behind it were revealed. It was not just one person, but dozens of people from the sorcerer tribe. The leader was the sorcerer tribe elder. The elder of the Magus race held a scepter in his hand and appeared rather dignified. However, he was also shocked by the means of the fiend celestial. Who are you people? His attire is similar to that of those people. Could he also be Tang Zhang's servant? The demon god looked at the other party in surprise. The others also looked at the group of shamans at the same time. No one had expected that there would be so many people living in seclusion in the 100,000 mountains. Who are you? How dare you threaten the great envoy? The elder of the sorcerer tribe shouted. Ha ha ha, another group of people has come to die. This is really interesting. Tang Zhang, I'm not going to kill you so quickly. I didn't expect you to be such a big fish with so many secrets on you. The demon deity laughed savagely. Everyone looked at Tang Zhang at the same time, especially the three people from the martial sect. They gradually realized that they had underestimated Tang Zhang. The elder of the witch clan led the witch clan and strode towards Tang Zhang, and said, Lord Envoy, with us here, we will definitely not let anyone harm you. Tang Zhang rejoiced. Fortunately, the elder of the witch clan had made a move, otherwise, he would have been captured without a fight. How interesting. However, before we make a move, I am more interested in your identities. Who exactly are you? We are from the witch clan. The elder said indignantly. Witch clan? Ancient witch clan. The demon god's eyes widened, and then he started laughing maniacally. This matter is getting more and more interesting. Didn't the rumor say that the witch clan has already been exterminated? How could they still exist in this world? Nonsense, how could my witch clan be exterminated? The elder reprimanded sternly. Legend has it that the witch clan was the most valiant tribe in the ancient times, following Qiyu everywhere to fight. In the end, Qiyu was defeated, and the witch clan was also exterminated. It seems that all of this was deliberately set up by someone, allowing the real witch clan to survive. The demon god praised. You know the origin of the witch clan? The elder and Tang Zhang were both shocked. The elder himself only knew a little about the origin of the witch clan, because it was too long ago, and Tian Chanzi did not know the origin of the witch clan at all, but he did not expect the demon god to know so many secrets. Haha, of course I know. This involves the origin of the demon clan, and is a secret that I accidentally found out back then. Normal people would not know about it. The demon god said complacently. However, speaking of which, the demon clan and the witch clan have a deep relationship, yet you all are on the same side as Tang Jing, and even recognize him as the Lord Envoy. What a joke! Do you know that this brat is the enemy of the demon clan, which is also the enemy of the witch clan? Nonsense! You are not allowed to slander the Lord Envoy. The witch clan elder reprimanded loudly. You old man, I think you are really old and confused. Then I will be merciful today and let you understand the reason. Do you know where his Ninely tribe went after Qiyu was defeated? The witch clan elder subconsciously shook his head. The others also stared at the demon god attentively. This kind of secret was not something that ordinary people could know. Qiyu's Ninely tribe was chased down and fled. In the end, a portion of them survived. After countless years of evolution, this portion of people became a new clan, Demon Clan. What? The Demon Clan is actually the Ninely tribe after Qiyu was defeated. Everyone was shocked. In fact, everyone had heard of the great battle of Qiyu in the ancient times. However, that era was too long ago, so everyone treated it as a legend. They did not expect it to be true. According to legend, Qiyu was the chief of the Ninely tribe in the ancient times. He was brave and good at fighting, and was an unparalleled king who defeated the equally powerful Yendi tribe. After the Yendi was defeated, he formed an alliance with the Yellow Emperor and started a great battle with Qiyu. This was the famous Battle of Zhuolu. In the Battle of Zhuolu, Qiyu was defeated and died, while his 9 tribe's whereabouts were unknown. As for the witch clan, which was the most brave and good at fighting, it was said that they were completely annihilated in the Battle of Zhuolu. As for the defeated people of the 9 tribe, they fled in all directions. A portion of them were absorbed by the Yellow Emperor's tribe, while a portion of them were still missing. No one would have thought that the infamous demon clan was actually evolved from the 9 tribe. In that case, the demon clan and the witch clan did have some connections. The witch clan is treating Tang Zheng as their master. This is simply deceiving their master and destroying their ancestors. Now is the best time for you to wake up and come under my command. I am magnanimous and will definitely let bygones be bygones. The demon god said righteously. The elder was a little confused. He treated Tang Zheng as his master because he respected the rules and legends of the witch clan. How did it become deceiving his master and destroying his ancestors? The other witch clan members were also shocked. They looked at the elder with complicated expressions, waiting for his answer. Tang Zheng's heart skipped a beat. Regardless of whether the demon god was telling the truth or not, he could not allow him to shake the morale of the army. Thus, he immediately retorted, "Demon god, I didn't expect you to be so eloquent. I think you might as well change your profession and become an actor." Regardless of whether what you said is true or false, there is one thing that I can be sure of. Qi Yu was a great hero of the ancient times. Although he was defeated, he was still respected by others. He was not like you demons, who were cruel and unreasonable in nature. You were like rats that everyone wanted to beat up. If Qi Yu knew in the underworld that his descendants had become like you, I think he would be so angry that he would crawl out of the ground and kill all of you unfilial descendants. Tang Zheng's rebuttal was powerful and many people secretly nodded. Although Qi Yu was defeated, he was still a great hero. He was definitely not a notorious person like the demon clan. Tang Zheng's words immediately poked at the demon god's sore spot. He immediately jumped up and retorted, "You are the one who is spouting nonsense. Back then, our demon clan's ancestors were chased like stray dogs, and were almost killed. Of course we have to take revenge, and kill all of you so-called righteous people." Demon god, don't quibble. No matter how righteous you are, what you have done is seen by the world. Even if the Zhuoli tribe upheld justice, in the end, it was all ruined by you disciples. You still have the face to mention your ancestors. I think you are bringing shame to your ancestors. Tang Zheng was eloquent. How could the demon god be his opponent? When the elder of the sorcerer tribe heard this, he was shocked. He raised his head and said with bright eyes, "What the great envoy said is right. You demons are the ones who betray your masters and ancestors. Everyone has the right to punish you. Everyone has the right to kill you." The members of the witch clan were agitated and shouted one after another. The demon god was so angry that his face turned ashen. He said ferociously, "A bunch of stubborn people. Since that's the case, I will put righteousness before family and uproot your witch clan. From now on, you will truly disappear from this world. Also, the 4 symbols honored warriors are in the hands of your witch clan, right? No wonder the 4 symbols honored warriors disappeared without a trace. They were taken away by your witch clan. Today, not only will I destroy your witch clan, but I will also take the 4 symbols honored warriors away. The 4 symbols honored warriors are the guardians of our witch clan. They are not something you can meddle with." The elder of the witch clan roared in anger. "Guardians? From now on, the 4 symbols honored warriors are no longer the guardians of your witch clan. They will be used by me to expand my territory." The demon god's eyes shone and he was extremely excited. When the members of the archaeological team heard this, they all looked at Tang Zheng, especially Qi Shaowen. Obviously, they had already determined that Tang Zheng had known about the stone statue, but he had deliberately concealed it from everyone. "Tang Zheng, you make it sound so nice, but from the start you were lying to us. Everyone, look at his face. Lu Ming, who had been silent the entire time, seemed to have grabbed onto a straw of straw as he excitedly shouted. Qi Shaowen's eyes showed a trace of regret. He was obviously heartbroken by Tang Zhang's deception. The others also looked at Tang Zhang with a complicated expression. They wanted to say something but stopped on second thought. Tang Zhang was not in the mood to care about what they thought because the most important thing now was to escape. Even with the help of the witch clan, it would not be easy to escape unscathed. He quickly gave the elder of the witch clan a look. The elder quickly asked in a low voice, "Lord Messenger, what's wrong?" Chapter 399. Tang Jing thought of a plan, and said in a low voice, "Elder, bring your men back to the tribe, I will hold them back. Please copy this address to your browser to see the first page." "How can that be? Lord Envoy, aren't you in danger?" The witch clan elder firmly rejected. "You don't have to worry, I will find a way to escape. Also, take the archaeological team away, but don't let them enter the tribe," Tang Jing warned. "This is an order." The witch clan elder hesitated for a moment, then said, "Yes, Lord Envoy." "What are you two muttering about? Could it be that you're thinking of a way to escape?" Do you think there's still a way to escape?" the demon god said arrogantly. Tang Jing snorted, he did not comment, then looked at the three people from Marshall's sect and said, "The three of you, I want to make a deal with you." The three of them who had been silent all this time asked curiously, "What deal?" "The demon god wants the entire demon clan to descend into this world, even at the cost of tens of thousands of lives. Is your Marshall's sect going to turn a blind eye to it?" Tang Jing asked. "Ridiculous, how can we turn a blind eye to it? He's delusional to want the demon clan to descend." The great clan elder retorted righteously. "You are completely wrong on this point. If the demon god kills everyone here, who else would know that he is planning something big today, so the most important thing right now is for us to work together to deal with him." This was Tang Zhang's plan. Although he was also a cultivator, he was not on the same path as the demon god. Compared to the martial sect, he felt that the demon god was a greater threat. How can we, the dignified martial sect, form an alliance with you?" the great clan elder rejected without hesitation. Stubborn. Tang Jing rolled his eyes. Brat, so that's what you're thinking. He doesn't appreciate your kindness, I think you're wasting your energy, so I'll capture you first. Seeing that, the demon god laughed wildly. Whiz! The demon god turned into a ray of red light and arrived in a flash. Tang Jing shouted loudly, "Quickly leave." Then, he rushed forward without a care for his own safety. Boom! The heaven-shocking bow shot out an arrow, barely blocking the demon god's attack. The demon god shouted, "Kill them all." Louis, Wales, and Sawada Ichiro were like tigers that had been released from their cages. They quickly charged towards the witch tribe and the archaeological team. The archaeological team did not have much fighting power and they screamed in fear. Seeing this, the elder of the sorcerer tribe shouted, "Protect them." The members of the sorcerer tribe quickly rushed forward to help. The sorcerer tribe elder waved his scepter and the vines on the ground quickly moved, entangling the three people. The three of them had learned their lesson and knew how powerful the vines were, so they all avoided them. "Take them away." The elders of the sorcerer tribe ordered loudly. The sorcerer tribesmen quickly hugged a member of the archaeological team, and some of them even carried him on their shoulders. The sorcerer tribe was born with great strength, and a person's weight was a piece of cake to them. Thus, a funny scene appeared. One by one, the sorcerer tribesmen carried or hugged the panicked archaeologists as if they were snatching a bride. They quickly retreated into the forest. "Trash, you can't even kill these small fries," the demon god reprimanded in anger. Lewis's eyes flashed with a cold light. He suddenly increased his speed, unbelievably fast, and in the blink of an eye, he had caught up to a sorcerer tribesman. Boom! He threw out a punch and directly hit the man's back. The man staggered and fell to the ground, while the archaeological team member on his shoulder screamed and fell to the ground. Puff! The screams came to an abrupt end, because Lewis had already soared into the air and punched the archaeological team member in the neck. Gotcha! The man died immediately. Before Lewis landed on the ground, he pounced towards the witch tribesmen who were lying on the ground. Stop! Lewis rushed up and exchanged a punch with him. Yi Yuan staggered backwards, while Lewis only stopped after breaking a big tree. You have so much strength. Then I'll test how powerful you are. Lewis's legs tapped on the tree trunk, and he rushed up again. Yi Yuan had already helped his clansmen up, telling him to quickly escape, and then roared as he went forward to welcome him. Not only did Yi Yuan have the power of a god, his cultivation was also not bad, but Lewis's speed was faster than his, and his whereabouts were also strange. The two of them fought for more than 10 moves, and in the end, Yi Yuan was actually struggling. The so-called witch tribe is nothing more than this. It's an exaggeration, Lewis said in disdain, and attacked again. This time, it was not a fist, but a claw, and a strange black light appeared on his fingernails. Puff! Yi Yuan's skin was actually scratched open. One must know that he had cultivated the chaotic golden body technique, so normal blades and swords would not be able to harm him in the slightest. However, he was actually scratched by Lewis's fingernails. Yi Yuan's heart trembled. He finally knew that something was wrong. The other party had purposely hidden his strength. It was definitely not as simple as it looked on the surface. Yi Yuan became cautious, but he did not take half a step back. His clansmen had already led the archaeological team away, leaving only a few witch clan people to defend against the enemy's attacks. This chaotic battle caused the gazes of the people from the martial sect to change. The great clan elder did not say a word and watched coldly from the side, muttering, "Let them kill each other, and in the end, we will benefit from it." Wu looked at Tang Jing with a complicated expression. With the help of the heaven-shocking Bao and Xiao Bai, he did not immediately fall into a disadvantageous position, but without a doubt, he was still not a match for the demon god, and could lose his life at any time. Although Tang Zheng is a cultivator, he has a huge relationship with the martial sect. I definitely cannot let him die like this, or else I won't be able to return and report to the sect master. Wu thought in his heart, his expression gradually becoming resolute, and said, "Two elders, I feel that Tang Zheng's suggestion just now was not bad. This demon god is a top expert. If we let him kill Tang Jing, then the demon god will have more energy to deal with us, and at that time, it won't be us who kills him, but him who kills us." Nonsense, how could he possibly kill us? The fourth elder retorted unhappily. Fourth elder, I am not exaggerating. Cultivators are all cunning people, they always have many schemes, and I have fought with the demon god before, so I am even more clear about his strength. To be honest, the two elders are really not his match, and only by temporarily joining hands with Tang Jing will we be able to kill him. Wu did not budge an inch as he earnestly advised. The great clan elder's expression kept changing as he stared at the demon god, watching him use one move after another. In the end, he nodded his head and said, "What Wu said is right, Tang Zheng is just an insignificant character, killing the demon god is the most important thing. Fourth brother, let's attack together." Seeing that the great clan elder had made up his mind, the fourth elder had no choice but to agree. Thus, the two of them joined the battle between Tang Zheng and the demon god like angry dragons entering the sea. Wu heaved a sigh of relief. After persuading the two elders, Tang Zheng's life was temporarily saved. He glanced at Yi Yuan, who was gradually unable to hold on, and rushed forward in a flash. Louis felt a gust of wind behind him, and immediately turned around to face him. Yi Yuan heaved a sigh of relief, and used all his strength to entangle Louis. Wales and Sawada Ichiro were entangled by the Witch Clan elders and a few Witch Clan members. The two of them were obviously weaker. Suddenly, Wales was entangled by the vines, and his neck was tightly strangled. With a gotcha, his neck was actually broken, and he fell to the ground weakly. Seeing that, Sawada Ichiro was so scared that he ran away in a sorry state. A Witch Clan member quickly pounced forward, wanting to get rid of Sawada Ichiro as well, but just as he passed by Wales, he was grabbed by a hand without any warning. Then, he felt a pain in his neck as he was bitten by a mouth, and his blood was quickly absorbed. Ah, the blood of the Witch Clan is indeed delicious. Today, I will have to enjoy this delicious meal. Wales' voice rang out again. His neck was broken, but he did not die. Furthermore, he had returned to normal and even sucked the blood of the Witch Clan members dry. Wales' appearance had undergone a huge change. A pair of pitch-black wings had actually grown out from his back. His skin was even paler, and his fingers had also grown longer, like sharp blades. Everyone was shocked by this unexpected scene. They looked at the transformed Wales in disbelief. No one thought that he would come back from the dead. The Witch Clan elder looked at the tragic death of his clansman and was furious. He waved his scepter and rushed over, shouting, "Kill!" Wales soared into the sky, flapped his wings and flew up. The Witch Clan elder pounced on nothing, then Wales swooped down and swept his sharp claws towards the Witch Clan elder's neck. Boom! Suddenly, a vine shot out from the scepter. It was like a whip, dancing in the air and blocking Wales. Tang Zheng was shocked when he saw this scene. He had always treated Wales as an insignificant character, but he did not expect that he could come back from the dead. It was too heaven-defying. He subconsciously thought of the werewolf. This Wales was stronger than the werewolf, and he had the ability to fly, which made him even more difficult to deal with. He immediately looked at Louis. He was Wales' master, so what kind of monster was he? What kind of ability did he have? Tang Zheng gradually realized that everything was more complicated than he had imagined. No wonder the Rockefeller clan had such great ambitions. With such a mysterious force, it was indeed a huge advantage for ordinary people. Another monster has appeared. How can there be so many monsters in this world? The great elder glanced at Wales, unable to restrain his anger. Tang Zheng was locked in battle with the demon god, so he had no time to deal with Wales. He said to Xiao Bai on his shoulder, "Xiao Bai, go and deal with this guy. Since he likes to be a birdman, then roast him. Let's see if he can come back to life." Xiao Bai squeaked and rushed over like a bolt of white lightning. It just so happened to land beside the Witch Clan elder's feet. It opened its little mouth and a ball of red flame slowly brewed in its little mouth. Wales swooped down like a cannonball and aimed at the Witch Clan elder. The pungent smell of blood assaulted their nostrils. Boom! Suddenly, a ball of flame rose from the ground. Xiao Bai finally spat out fire. The flame soared into the sky and covered half of the sky in an instant. Wales was the first to be caught and was immediately enveloped by the flames. Chapter 400. Wales immediately turned into a ball of flames, screaming as he fell from the sky, rolling and screaming on the ground, which was extremely terrifying. Please copy this address to your browser to see the first page. Xiao Bai, good job. Tang Zheng praised loudly. The demon god's eyes lit up. What kind of divine beast is this? Kid, I didn't expect you to have so many treasures around you. Hee hee, this time I really got lucky. The screams came to an abrupt end, and whales also stopped screaming, but the flames did not extinguish. Instead, they continued to crackle and burn, and in the end, whales turned into ashes before the flames disappeared. Let's see how you'll come back to life. The witch clan elder vented his anger. All of you must die. Louis was entangled with Yi Yuan and Wu, so he had no time to save them. Seeing that Wales was really dead, his eyes gradually turned blood red, and a black aura surged out from his entire body. With a scream, he also transformed, and wings grew out from his body, and his fingernails became as sharp as blades. What kind of monster is this? Tang Jing cried out in shock. Blood Clan, they are immortal vampires. Wu said loudly. When the werewolf appeared, they followed the clues and started an investigation. Although they did not gain much, they still found some information. The Western Empire had a long legend, and the main characters in it were the Blood Clan and the werewolf. It was said that these two clans were mortal enemies and had been fighting for countless years. However, with the evolution of history, these two clans disappeared without a trace, and it was said that they had been exterminated. But who would have thought that these two races actually still existed, and even formed an alliance in secret? Seeing Louis transform, Wu immediately realized that the Rockefeller family was the inheritance of the immortal vampires. It was just that they were hidden in the city, and no one had discovered them. What is the immortal vampires? Tang Zheng was shocked, and asked curiously. Legend has it that the immortal vampires have an immortal body, and can even come back to life. They can transform into flying bats, and are very cunning and powerful. Wu said briefly. Immortal body. I think it's just an exaggeration. That Wales was still burned to ashes by Xiao Bai. Tang Zheng said disdainfully. Lord Envoy is right, these monsters are not worth mentioning. The witch tribe elder said passionately, then rushed toward Sawada Ichiro. Sawada Ichiro did not have the ability to transform, so he was the weakest among them. When he saw the witch tribe elder attacking him, he quickly retreated and ran away. Elder, don't chase after them. Hurry up and lead your people out of here. Tang Jing stopped the sorcerer tribe elder from chasing after them. Why, Lord Emissary? The elder of the sorcerer tribe was puzzled. Let's go. Tang Jing shouted. Yes. The elder of the sorcerer tribe had no choice but to accept the order. He shouted, "Go," and quickly retreated into the forest. In the blink of an eye, all the sorcerer tribe members had retreated. Brat, even if they escape, I will still find them. The demon god shouted nonchalantly. Tang Jing did not comment. He already understood that even with the help of the martial sect, it was impossible to kill the demon god. Since that was the case, he had to ensure the lives of the witch tribe members. Louis had one less strong opponent, and Sawada Ichiro had rushed back. The two of them joined forces to fight against Wu, and immediately, Wu's defeat was obvious. Go to hell. Louis shouted, and with a flap of his huge wings, a cold light filled the sky as it shot towards Wu. Puff! Marshall dodged most of the attacks and was about to be safe, but Sawada Ichiro quietly launched a sneak attack from behind, making it impossible for her to dodge. In the end, a cold light pierced through her body, and a bloody hole appeared on her body. Marshall! Seeing this, the fourth elder turned pale with fright and screamed, "You monster, I'm going to cut you into pieces." Bang! A saber light flashed, and half of Louis's wing was cut off. Louis staggered and fell to the ground, blood flowing out. The fourth elder was like a gale, his saber light flashing as he surrounded Louis in an instant. Louis roared furiously as he tried to dodge left and right. However, he was clearly not as strong as the fourth elder. With a boom, he was struck by the saber and was cut in half. Ah! Sawada Ichiro was scared out of his wits when he saw such a sharp move. He hurriedly retreated. The fourth elder swept past the two halves of the body and squatted down to check on Marshall's injuries. Marshall's injuries were not fatal, but they were still dripping with blood. It looked very terrifying. "Marshall, how is it?" the fourth elder asked with concern. "I'm fine." Wu grimaced in pain and sucked in a breath of cold air. Suddenly, her eyes widened as she shouted, "Fourth elder, be careful." The fourth elder had already sensed the strange situation behind him. A sense of danger came without warning, but it was too late for him to block. A huge bloody hole appeared in the fourth elder's chest with a rumbling sound. Then, a mass of black stuff flew out of the hole. Wolala! One by one, black bats flapped their wings and flew out of the bloody hole. These bats were only the size of a fish, but they were densely packed and hovered in the sky. What was going on? Everyone was shocked, but Marshall shouted, "It's that Westerner. He didn't die. These bats were transformed by him." Lewis was cut in half by the saber, but he did not die. Instead, he unexpectedly transformed into these little bats. Then these little bats gathered together like a sharp saber, directly piercing through the fourth elder's chest and taking his life. Immortal vampire. Marshall looked at the fourth elder's corpse on the ground and gritted her teeth. Her eyes were red and she exploded with a strong murderous aura. No one expected the immortal vampires to have such a transformation. "I'm going to kill you." Marshall jumped and threw herself at the bats in the air. However, before she could get close, she fell from the air to the ground. She was injured and could no longer fight. Fourth elder. Seeing this, the great clan elder was enraged. He actually abandoned the demon god and pounced towards Marshall, stopping Lewis from pursuing. The bats that Lewis had transformed into had to rise into the air again. With a flash of black light, the bats turned back into Lewis, and the wings on their backs were as good as new. "Ha, immortal vampires, interesting." The demon laughed with satisfaction. "Tang Jing, surrender now." He attacked Tang Jing, and Tang Jing kept retreating. Xiao Bai also spat out a flame, blocking the demon's attack. The demon didn't take advantage of the situation to pursue. He just looked at the other side proudly and said, "Now one of your people is dead and the other is injured. Show me what you have." Tang Zhang's expression changed. He didn't expect to lose so quickly. With him and the martial arts sex people working together, they could at least hold on for a while. He didn't expect Lewis to be an immortal vampire, which completely broke the balance. The fourth elder was a strong person who was half a step into the immortal realm, but he was killed by Lewis's sneak attack. This was a huge loss for the martial arts sect. The first elder's face was livid. He was about to go crazy. His eyes looked like they could eat people. He shouted at Lewis, "I'm going to kill you." Lewis floated in the air, feeling smug. He said fearlessly, "Then come at me." Marshall grabbed the first elder's sleeve and whispered, "First elder, we are no match for them. We must leave here as soon as possible." The first elder held back. He gritted his teeth and said, "You are right. We must leave here as soon as possible. You want to escape? No way." The demon god's figure flashed and blocked the two of them. Scram! The first elder roared. He held his sword with one hand. The sword's body actually glowed. In the end, the sword light wrapped around him and Marshall. "You don't have the ability." The demon god was unmoved. A bloody light floated around his body. "Kill!" The first elder roared. The sword light suddenly moved and flew towards the demon god. At this moment, he was the sword and the sword was him. He and the sword were one. The demon god transformed into a beam of blood-red light and charged towards the sword light. With a loud boom, the ground shook and shock waves spread out in all directions. Countless trees were swept apart, and in the blink of an eye, the area within a radius of several hundred meters was flattened. Whiz! The sword light wrapped around the first elder and marshal. It rushed forward and disappeared into the forest. Bang! The demon god landed on the ground and staggered. He spat out a mouthful of blood and cursed, "Damn it, this guy actually burned his own life in order to reach the realm of one with the sword." He escaped without a trace. This time, the demon god had suffered a little. After all, the great clan elder was a great master martial artist. This kind of expert did not hesitate to burn his own life to forcefully raise his cultivation. The demon god was slightly injured, but it was not a big deal. He turned and stared at Tang Zheng. The corner of his mouth curled up, and he laughed. "Tang Zheng, your helper has run away. What other abilities do you have now? If you obediently surrender, I can let you live for a few more days." Wishful thinking. Do you think everyone is like Louis, willing to work for a great demon like you? Tang Zheng said without any trace of politeness. Louis is a smart person. Smart people live longer. Louis also landed on the ground, and said, "Tang Zheng, if you die, Shishir will be mine. If you dare to hurt Shishir, I will definitely not let you off. Not only you, but also your Rockefeller family. I will make it disappear from this world." Tang Zheng said angrily with his eyes wide open. You don't have that chance anymore. Do you think you still have a chance to escape? Louis said nonchalantly. Cut the crap. If I capture you, I can make the witch clan submit. I can also obtain the 4 symbols venerable, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Brat, take this. The demon god struck while the iron was hot and attacked again. The heaven-shocking bow consumed a lot of innate qi. After the great battle just now, Tang Zheng had consumed a lot of innate qi. Furthermore, he did not have any help right now. After a few moves, Tang Zheng was completely at a disadvantage. If not for Xiao Bai helping him from the side and spitting fire from time to time, he would have already been captured. Tang Zheng did not accept his fate just like that. He was not a person who accepted his fate. However, the huge gap between the two of them left him with little room to resist. Within 10 moves, he would definitely be captured alive. Chapter 401. 9 moves. The two sides had already exchanged 9 moves, and Tang Zheng's defeat was already very obvious. As long as the demon god used 1 more move, Tang Zheng would be captured alive. Please copy this address to your browser to see the first page. Whiz! A white figure suddenly rushed out from the forest, and with a flash of lightning, the sound of a horse neighing could be heard. Tang Zheng's eyes lit up. Heavenly horse, it was actually the heavenly horse. When Yi Yuan returned to the 10,000 huge mountains, he brought the heaven horse back. The heaven horse was alone in the ordinary balance, so Tang Zheng specially instructed him to bring the heaven horse back to the 10,000 huge mountains and let it return to its freedom. Who would have thought that at this moment, the heaven horse would appear out of nowhere, and its speed would be even faster than before. Tang Zheng only glanced at it from the corner of his eye, then flipped over and mounted the horse. The heaven horse galloped on all 4s, barely dodging the demon god's attack. Go, run! Tang Zheng shouted loudly. The heaven horse seemed to have flown, and really turned into a white light, carrying Tang Zheng and Xiao Bai into the forest. Chase! The demon god did not see the appearance of the heaven horse clearly, but without a doubt, it was definitely not an ordinary item. He was excited to see it, and thought that there were indeed many treasures in the 10,000 huge mountains. The demon god, Louis and Sawada Ichiro sprinted forward and chased after him. However, it was obvious that the 3 of them were not weak, but their speed was half a beat slower than the heaven horse. In the end, they could only watch as the heaven horse rushed into a dense forest that covered the sky and covered the sun. One man and one horse rushed into the dense forest like a river entering the sea. They actually disappeared without a trace, not even a ghost could be seen. The demon god chased for a long distance, unwilling to give up. He was even a little exhausted, but he still could not see any traces of Tangjing. Suddenly, he stopped and shouted, "Stop, there's something wrong with this forest." Lewis and Sawada Ichiro looked at him curiously. Sawada Ichiro asked in confusion, "What's wrong?" Lewis also looked left and right, and gradually, his eyes revealed a look of realization, and said, "We were here just now." "Yes, we're running around like headless flies," the demon god said with relief. Lewis was indeed very powerful. That Sawada Ichiro was too insignificant. He was too far away. Why is this happening? I remember that we are clearly going straight ahead. Sawada Ichiro shouted in panic. "Shut up, idiot. This is a formation. You think you're going straight, but you're actually taking a detour." Hee, interesting. The shamans actually set up such a great formation to welcome us. Let them see how I break the formation, the demon god said indifferently. He stretched out his arms and closed his eyes. His whole body glowed with a bloody light. Then, a thick bloody mist was emitted from his body. It kept rolling and drifting in all directions. Sawada Ichiro quickly hid. He knew how powerful this blood fog was. Lewis, on the other hand, looked as if nothing had happened and stared at the demon god. Clatter, clatter, clatter. The heavenly horse's hooves were hurried and fast, but every time it leaped into the air, it crossed a large distance. There was no trace of the enemy behind it. Tangjing came out of the dense forest that covered the sky and the sun. His eyes suddenly opened up. This was the mighty tribe of the shamans. At this moment, there were a lot of people gathered at the entrance of the tribe. The witch clan and the archaeological team were all looking forward to it. When they saw Tangjing, everyone burst into thunderous cheers and immediately rushed forward to welcome him. "Lord Messenger, how are you? Are you okay?" the elder of the shamans asked with concern. Qi Shaoan was not willing to be left behind. He asked sincerely, "Tangjing, are you hurt? What about those people? How are they?" Tangjing turned over and got off the horse. He took a deep breath and calmed down a little. He said, "I'm not hurt for the time being. One of the Wuzong people is dead and another is injured. One of the demon god's people is dead. Now that the Wuzong people have escaped, only the demon god and the other two are chasing after us. Is this illusion array useful? How long can it last?" Qi Shaoan was experienced and knowledgeable, but he still felt that his brain was not enough. He was at a loss. Tangjing looked at the shaman clan elder. The shaman clan elder understood and said, "They can't break through for the time being. Everyone, quickly go back and recuperate. If the enemy breaks through the illusion array, then we can only fight to the death." Fight to the death. Everyone's hearts trembled, and many of them even turned pale, especially Lu Ming, who was in the archaeological team. He had just been saved by the shamans and was pulled back from the brink of death. He had yet to fully recover from his shock. At this moment, seeing that Tangjing did not have the confidence to win, he was even more frightened, and said, "You guys don't have the confidence, why did you bring us here? Let the enemy catch a turtle in a jar. If you don't want to stay here, no one will stop you. The road is under your feet. Walk out yourself." Tang Zhang's gaze turned cold as he said snappily, "If you dare to make any more noise, do you believe that I won't break your neck?" Yi Yuan threatened in anger. Lu Ming shrunk his neck and did not dare to say another word. Looking at the angry gazes around him, he quickly retreated to a corner and curled his lips, thinking to himself, Tang Jing, now that these people are listening to you, I'll let you be arrogant for now. Once we leave the 10,000 huge mountains, see how I'll deal with you, an undisciplined fellow. Everyone returned to the tribe. Other than a small number of people who stayed at their posts and observed the enemy, the rest of them went back to rest. Although Tang Jing had consumed a lot of his innate qi, he did not have time to rest. He already understood that the illusion array would definitely not be able to stop the demon god, and it was only a matter of time before the other party broke through the array. Once the illusion array was broken, the entire shaman clan would be exposed in front of him, and they would not have much power to resist. I was the one who discovered the shaman clan, and they only discovered the shaman clan because they were chasing after me, so I definitely cannot bring about a calamity to the shaman clan. I have to think of a way to deal with it. Tang Jing clenched his teeth and thought to himself. He called the witch clan elder and Yi Yuan to discuss countermeasures, but the three of them had been plotting for a long time, but there was no effective way. Suddenly, Tang Jing saw Qi Shaowen, who was looking at the 4 gigantic stone statues in the plaza. He had an idea and said, quickly go and invite Professor Qi over. Yi Yuan went out and invited Qi Shaowen back after a while. Qi Shaowen clicked his tongue and praised, miracle, this is truly a miracle. These 4 stone statues, no, these 4 symbols venerables are simply miracles. The carvings are so lifelike, and they are so tall, they are simply uncanny workmanship. If we can get a little closer, touch, feel, and study them, we will definitely have a lot of shocking gains. Qi Shaowen was already immersed in the emotions of archaeology, and the stone statues of the 4 symbols venerables had given him too much of a shock. However, they were the guardian gods of the shaman clan, and outsiders were not allowed to get close to them, let alone this group of archaeologists who had designs on the guardian gods. Therefore, Qi Shaowen could only look at them from afar and enjoy himself. Professor Qi, the 4 symbols venerables are the guardian gods of the shaman clan, and they are extraordinary, so I want to ask if you have seen any information about the 4 symbols venerables before. Tang Jing looked at him expectantly and asked. Qi Shaowen shook his head regretfully, I really haven't. This is a miracle. If I can see it once in my life, even if I die, I will have no regrets. Professor Qi, let me tell you one more thing, these 4 stone statues can move. At this point, there was no need for Tang Jing to hide anything. They can move. Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? Is there some kind of control mechanism or component inside them? Qi Shaowen asked suspiciously. Tang Jing shook his head. These 4 stone statues were amazing, and they were definitely not machines. Last time, they were activated because they had absorbed the blood of the shaman clan. Last time, the shaman clan had suffered a great loss. Could it be that this time, they would have to suffer a great loss before they could awaken the guardian gods? Tang Jing did not want to see such an outcome. He hoped to find a way to activate the 4 symbols venerables first, so that they could resist the demon god's attack. The 4 symbols venerables, the 4 symbols. Qi Shaowen frowned and mumbled to himself. Suddenly, his eyes lit up, and he said, have you heard of the saying that Tai Chi gives birth to yin and yang give birth to the 4 symbols, and the 4 symbols give birth to the 8 trigrams? Yes, I have. Could it be related to the guardian gods? Tang Jing could not figure out the crux of the matter at the moment. I'm not sure about the specifics. This is just my guess. Since they are called the 4 symbols venerables, do you think the thing that drives them to move is related to the Tai Chi 8 trigrams formation? Qi Shaowen analyzed. This. Tang Jing and the shaman clan elder looked at each other. They had always thought that the guardian gods could only be activated by the blood of the shaman clan. They had never thought about this before. Qi Shaowen was a senior scholar, and he paid more attention to logic and science. Although he already knew that there were many mysterious forces in this world, his subconscious mind still operated according to the scientific method. I observed your square just now. In fact, this is a huge Tai Chi Yin and Yang formation. I learned this from a few words left behind in an ancient book. I didn't study this in the past, so I didn't pay much attention to it. After all, I didn't believe that there was such an illusory thing in the world. However, the ancient book clearly stated that this Tai Chi Yin-Yang formation is a very powerful formation. It evolved from the great Tao in the unseen world and has unfathomable power. Moreover, this formation has many changes and many different functions. Tang Zhang was in high spirits. He asked, "Elder, have you heard of this formation?" The shaman clan elder shook his head and said, "There are many formations in this world, and many of them have been passed down. Back then, we couldn't cultivate and no one studied in this field. So I only know a little about formations. I don't know about this Tai Chi Yin and Yang formation." Tang Zhang was not disappointed. Instead, he looked at Qi Shaowen and asked, "Professor Qi, do you know how to activate and control this Tai Chi Yin and Yang formation?" "Let me recall." Qi Shaowen closed his eyes and frowned. He was lost in his memories. The other three did not dare to disturb him and looked at him nervously. If Qi Shaowen could not find a way, they would have to use the blood of the shaman clan to awaken the guardian gods. They were afraid that the shaman clan members would sacrifice their lives. This was not something they wanted to see. Time passed slowly. Qi Shaowen's frown deepened. The hearts of the three gradually sank. Chapter 402. After a long while, Qi Shaowen suddenly raised his head and said, "I remember now. That ancient book also recorded the method to activate the Taiji Yin-Yang formation. Do you have a pen and paper? I'll draw it. Please copy this address to your browser." Yi Yuan quickly handed over a pen and paper, and Qi Shaowen began to draw attentively. The Witch Clan elder had studied the plaza of the Witch Clan for many years, and was extremely familiar with every inch of it. When he saw Qi Shaowen's drawing, his eyes lit up, and he said, "This is the miniature version of the plaza." At this point, the three of them finally believed that the Witch Clan's plaza was actually a huge Taiji Yin-Yang formation, and that the four symbols Venerable needed to rely on this formation to activate it. This is the heart of the formation. People can activate the formation at the heart of the formation and control the four symbols Venerable. Qi Shaowen pointed at a point on the painting and said excitedly. The three of them looked at the point he was pointing at the same time. Their hearts moved slightly as they said, "The heart of the formation is in the center of the plaza. How do we activate it?" Qi Shaowen picked up his pen and wrote another profound text, saying, "This is the specific method to activate it, but I can't understand the profound meaning behind it, so I can only rely on you guys." The three of them looked at the text. It was indeed profound and obscure, but to the Witch Clan elder and Tang Jing, it was not a heavenly book. The text explained in detail how to activate the formation, but it required many conditions. The Witch Clan elder shook his head regretfully. According to the text, activating this formation requires an extremely strong amount of genuine qi. Our genuine qi is not enough to support it. Tang Jing also nodded. Yes, to activate the formation, one must stand at the center of the formation with one's own strength, use one's own genuine qi to activate the Taiji Yin-Yang formation, and use this genuine qi to pour into the bodies of the four stone statues, thus reaching the level of controlling the four symbols Venerable. So it turns out that blood is not needed to control the stone statues. You need to infuse your vital energy into the bodies of the four divine beasts according to a certain pattern. Only then will you be able to control them perfectly. However, using the blood of the shaman tribe as a guide will only trigger them. There is no way to truly control them, said the shaman tribe elder. The key is that none of us can reach the strength of the genuine chi mentioned above. I think we need to be in the Grandmaster realm to have so much genuine chi. Tang Jing said. Don't we have any other way? At most, all of us can just pour our innate chi into the guardian god's body. Yi Yuan said unwillingly. The witch tribe elder shook his head and said, No, it's very clear that only one person's genuine chi can enter the guardian god's body. Everyone's genuine chi is different. If different people's genuine chi enters the guardian god's body, it will cause a huge mess. It's hard to predict what will happen in the end. Qi Shaoan heaved a long sigh and said, The four symbols venerables are too miraculous. I really don't know what to do. He'd originally intended to study the four symbols venerables, yet now, this had completely exceeded the scope of his study, and it caused him to be at a loss for what to do. I'll give it a try later. But right now, I have to recover my primary chi before the demon god breaks through the illusion array. Tang Jing clenched his teeth and made up his mind. Among all of us, only you have the highest level of cultivation. This is the only way. The elder of the sorcerer tribe had no other choice but to do this. After the few of them left the room, Tang Jing sat down cross-legged and quickly recovered his innate chi. When the sky gradually darkened, he finally completely recovered his strength and walked out of the room. The witch tribe was already brightly lit, and everyone was gathered in the plaza, listening to the rumbling sounds coming from the forest in the distance. Without a doubt, the demon god was breaking through the array, and the commotion was getting louder and louder. It was obvious that the illusion array could not hold on for much longer. Lord Envoy, let's eat first. The witch tribe elder said. No rush, let me take a look at the array first. Tang Jing walked to the center of the plaza, and everyone stared at him. Under the illumination of the fire, he stopped in his tracks, and spread out his hands. The innate chi surged out from his palms, and flowed in all directions. This plaza was very big. After his innate chi had traveled a certain distance, it would no longer be controlled by his body and would become erratic. Doesn't this mean that there's no way to inject the innate chi into the stone statue? He collected his thoughts and tried a few more times, but every time, the innate chi would escape his control after traveling a certain distance. There was no way to succeed. Professor Chi's method is not feasible at all. It's impossible to inject the innate chi into the four stone statues at the same time, and at the center of the array at such a distance. His face darkened, and his eyebrows drooped in disappointment. Lord Envoy, what's wrong? The witch tribe elder asked anxiously. Tang Jing shook his head and told the witch tribe elder what he felt. The witch tribe elder nodded and said, I noticed this when I saw you use it just now. Ordinary people can control the innate chi in their bodies as easily as their arms. Lord Envoy, your level of cultivation is high, so even if your innate chi can break through the restraints of your body, you can still succeed, but at such a distance, it's very difficult to control it. Tang Jing glanced at the distance from the center of the array to each stone statue. The distance between the center and the four stone statues was equal, and they were all more than 10 meters apart. Doesn't that mean there's no other way? Qi Shaoan sighed regretfully. The others also looked at Tang Jing. Everyone knew very well that the trump card to resist the demon god was these four stone statues. Now that Tang Jing could not move them at all, he could only wait for the demon god to come knocking on his door. Lord Envoy, if we really can't do it, we will use the old method. We will use the blood of our witch tribe as a guide and let the guardian god protect our safety. The witch tribe elder said resolutely. No. Tang Jing rejected without hesitation. Unless we have no other choice, we cannot sacrifice the lives of our clansmen. But there's no other way. We can't just let the demon god attack, right? The witch tribe elder said with a bitter expression. Lord Envoy, we are willing to sacrifice ourselves. As long as we can protect the lifeline of the witch tribe, what is the point of sacrificing us? Yi Yuan took the lead and volunteered. Yes, we are willing to sacrifice ourselves. Isn't it just blood? We witch tribesmen are not afraid of bleeding, we are not afraid of sacrificing ourselves, as long as we die a worthy death. The others echoed loudly. The archaeological team could not help but be shocked when they saw how hot-blooded these people were and how they were willing to risk their lives. However, Lu Ming, who was mixed in with the group, curled his lips and had a look of disapproval. Lord Envoy, did you see that? This is the will of our witch tribe. The witch tribe elder said. Tang Zheng's face was stern as he looked at the resolute faces and said, "If I say no, then no. This is an order, don't tell me that everyone is not going to follow my orders." With that said, the witch tribesmen all lowered their heads. The elder even bowed his body and said in fear and trepidation, "We don't dare. If you don't dare, then follow my orders. I won't use your blood to activate the guardian god. I'll try again." Tang Zheng was about to do the same thing again when he heard a loud boom. A red light lit up in the forest outside the tribe, and then countless towering trees fell to the ground. Lord Envoy, Elder, the enemy has broken through the illusion array. The witch tribesmen on the city tower shouted. Fight! The elder of the sorcerer tribe shouted, and the tribesmen picked up their weapons and rushed up the city wall. The demon god's roar could be heard from outside the city gate. All of you, listen to me. If you surrender obediently, I can still take you under my command and fight with me. If you are stubborn, I will completely destroy you and make the sorcerer tribe disappear from this world. Lord Envoy, I will deal with him. You can continue to ponder over this Taiji formation. With that, the witch tribe elder rushed up the city wall and said sternly, "The witch tribe will only die on the battlefield and will never surrender. You should give up on this thought. Since that's the case, then there's no need for the witch tribe to exist in this world." The demon god roared. Release the arrows. With the order of the witch tribe elder, countless arrows rained down from the city wall, covering the sky and the earth. Child's play, I'll show you what I can do. The demon god shouted and immediately launched a counterattack. Tang Zheng listened to the sounds of the fierce battle, his heartstrings tightened and his breathing quickened involuntarily. The archaeological team standing at the side was even more anxious. Qi Shaoan advised, "Tang Zheng, don't panic, calm down, there will be a way, I believe in you." Yes, we all believe in you, Tang Zheng, you will succeed. The archaeological team placed all their hopes of survival on Tang Zheng, of course, they hoped for a miracle. Weren't those witch tribesmen willing to sacrifice themselves? He rejected it himself, I think he is an arrogant fool who wants to get us all killed. Lu Ming sneered. Shut up. You have no right to speak here. Qi Shaoan shouted. Lu Ming shrunk his neck, not daring to speak any more nonsense. Everyone stared at Tang Zheng. Tang Zheng felt an unprecedented pressure. Everyone's lives depended on him. He tried to control the flow of vital energy into the stone statue again, but he failed just like before. Tang Zheng gritted his teeth and thought, if I don't succeed again, the elder and the rest won't be able to stop the demon god. I must succeed, but the problem is that I have too little vital energy, and the vital energy is flowing outside my body, I can't control it at all. He racked his brains and suddenly, an idea came to him. What if I have enough vital energy? However, a person's vital energy was limited by their cultivation level, there was only so much vital energy. However, this was only for ordinary people, Tang Zheng could find another way to solve this problem. Yes, the dragon origin pill, it can increase enough vital energy in a short period of time, maybe it will work. Tang Zheng immediately took out a dragon origin pill and swallowed it. A loud bang sounded in his body. The dragon origin pill transformed into a majestic energy, rushing into his 8 extraordinary meridians like a flood, as if it was going to burst his body. He waved his hands in all directions, swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The vigorous vital energy was visible to the naked eye, creating ripples in the air, shooting rapidly toward the 4 guardian deities. Swoosh. The complicated patterns on the square immediately lit up, and rays of black light shot up into the sky. The patterns floated, emitting a mysterious power. Chapter 403. This miraculous scene caused everyone to be flabbergasted. Many people had already started asking each other, "Is this a success?" No one knew the answer, even Tang Jing did not know the answer. He only continuously channeled the innate qi outwards. The dragon Yuan Dan was indeed very powerful, and with him wantonly squandering the innate qi like this, his body still felt like it was about to explode. Please copy this address to your browser to see the first page. The patterns and the innate qi quickly flew towards the 4 stone statues. The patterns wrapped around the stone statues, and the innate qi also entered the stone statues. Immediately, Tang Jing felt a strong suction force, crazily absorbing his innate qi. Hoo-hoo, the innate qi was like a surging river, quickly flowing away. Look, the stone statue is glowing. Someone pointed at the stone statue and exclaimed. The stone statue was indeed emitting a black light. Tang Jing also saw it, and was overjoyed. It seemed that he had really succeeded. After injecting the innate qi, the guardian god seemed to be coming to life. When the great clan elder and the others on the city gate tower saw this scene, they were all overjoyed, and said, "Everyone work harder, Lord Envoy has succeeded. As long as we awaken the guardian god, then the enemy will not be our match." One by one, the witch clan members' eyes lit up as they charged towards the demon god and the other 2 without caring about their own safety. This kind of long-distance attack, the arrows were indeed blessed by the heavens, causing the demon god and the other 2 to have no way of getting close. The demon god raised his head and looked at the tall city wall. He frowned and said, "It wasn't easy for us to break through that illusion array. How can we be blocked by this wall? Everyone, work harder, we must rush in. Demon god, look, the stone statue is glowing." Lewis pointed at the stone statue that was a large part of the city wall and exclaimed. The demon god took a closer look. The stone statue was indeed emitting a black light, and it was getting brighter and brighter. A mysterious aura was gradually spreading out. The demon god was greatly shaken, and said, "We have to rush in as soon as possible. They are fantasizing about the 4 symbols venerable. Damn it, this group of people actually have a way to awaken such a powerful 4 symbols venerable. We definitely can't let them succeed, or else we'll be in trouble." The demon god's body was covered in a bloody light. He waved his hand and the blood blade flew into the sky. He jumped on the blood blade and shouted, "Lewis, transform and fly in from the sky." The Fian Celestial's move was also a sword kinesis technique, but it wasn't simple. It allowed the blood blade to carry the weight of a person and fly in the air. It was equivalent to giving a person a pair of wings. This move consumed a lot of energy, so the demon god would not use it easily. But now, he could not care less. When the demon god controlled the blood blade to fly into the sky, Lewis also transformed and flew up. Only Sawada Ichiro could only look on helplessly. The 2 of them flew over the city tower and towards the center of the square. The elder of the witch tribe shouted in panic, "Release the arrows. Stop them. We must stop them." Whoosh! Whoosh! Many arrows soared into the sky, shrouding the 2 of them like a dark cloud. However, a layer of red light appeared on the demonic god's body, blocking all the arrows. Lewis flapped his wings fiercely, and it was as if a tornado had swept past, causing the rain of arrows to be unable to do anything to him. The demon god had already seen Tang Jing casting his spell. He shouted, "Charge down! We must stop this kid!" Whoosh! Whoosh! Two figures swooped down like two cannonballs, heading straight for Tang Jing. Tang Jing was casting his spell and did not have any extra energy to fight. At that moment, the elder roared and jumped down from the city tower. He waved his scepter forward and blocked Tang Jing's head. Furthermore, vines spread out from the scepter and rapidly grew, as though they were holding up a huge umbrella for Tang Jing. Boom! With one move from the demon god, the large umbrella made of interwoven vines was shattered into pieces. However, with this buffer time, the elder of the sorcerer tribe had already rushed to the square and smashed his huge fist directly at the demon god. Boom! The elder of the witch tribe flew out, but the demon god only paused for a moment before flying towards Tang Jing. He descended from the sky and was determined to completely destroy Tang Jing. Everyone watched this scene with their eyes wide open, but no one had the ability to lend a helping hand. Tang Jing also had no other choice. Just now, he had used up all his genuine qi. He hurriedly took a second Dragon Yuan elixir to be able to continue supporting the formation. Only then did he realize that activating the Tai Chi Yin-Yang formation was not as simple as he had imagined. The 4 stone statues were like 4 bottomless pits, constantly absorbing his genuine qi. If it were not for the Dragon Yuan elixir providing him with genuine qi, he would have been sucked dry and become a cripple even without the demon god's attack. Die, Tang Jing! The demon god shouted. The bloody blade fell back into his hand. With a flash of red light, it slashed towards Tang Jing. No! Many people let out heart-wrenching screams, but no one was able to stop all of this. Just as the bloody blade was about to hit Tang Jing, a black light suddenly spread out from the center of the square and quickly wrapped around Tang Jing. Boom! The bloody blade slashed onto the black light, but the black light only trembled slightly. On the other hand, the demon god was sent flying into the sky by a huge force. Whiz! The black light rapidly expanded. In the end, it not only wrapped around Tang Jing, but also the entire square. It was like a huge protective shield. What's going on? The demon god and Louis floated in the air, looking at everything in shock. They could not understand at all. The others heaved a sigh of relief and stared at the protective shield with their mouths agape. The elder of the witch tribe said after a long while, "The guardian god is protecting us." All the people of the witch tribe knelt on the ground and kowtowed to the stone statue. Their eyes were filled with excitement and gratitude. When the archaeological team saw this magical scene, their brains were no longer enough. Other than their mouths wide open and their faces full of surprise, they did not know what words to use to describe their feelings. Kill! I don't believe that this crappy barrier can protect you. The demon god roared indignantly. He would not admit defeat, nor did he want to fail on the verge of success. Boom! The bloody blade slashed at the protective shield again, causing it to tremble. It was intact, but the demon god did not plan on letting it go. He urged, "Louis, you too. Let's break through this protective shield together. Otherwise, we will fail on the verge of success." Boom! 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 The demon god and Louis were like 2 madmen as they constantly attacked the protective shield. The protective shield was very stable in the beginning, but cracks began to appear later on. The duo's attacks were still very terrifying. The protective shield clearly could not hold on any longer. Everyone looked at the protective shield in horror and asked, "What do we do? What do we do now?" Everyone, believe in the Lord Messenger. Believe in the guardian god. We will definitely be fine, the elder of the witch tribe comforted. Everyone could not help but look at Tang Jing. His face was covered in sweat and his veins protruded. His body was trembling slightly. Clearly, he was struggling to hold on. Ka-chow! Suddenly, the protective shield shattered and dissipated into black light that filled the sky. Everyone was once again exposed to the demon god's attacks. Let's see how you resist now. The demon god swooped down and headed straight for Tang Jing. Rumble. Suddenly, the ground trembled. Just as the demon god was about to hit Tang Jing, he suddenly felt a strong sense of danger. His heart trembled as he gave up on attacking Tang Jing and quickly flew to the side. So, a huge palm swept across the spot where the demon god had been. If he had not dodged, he would have definitely been caught by the palm. It was the stone statue's palm. The stone statues moved and the four supremes came to life. Their eyes suffused a glow and the glance was enough to make one feel an overwhelming pressure. This. The demon god looked at the four awakened stone statues with his mouth agape. His heart turned cold. Wow, the guardian god. The guardian god has finally awakened. We are saved. The cheers of the witch tribe were deafening as everyone broke into laughter. Phew! Tang Jing heaved a sigh of relief. At the last moment, just as his innate qi was about to run out, these four symbols venerable ones were finally awakened. The moment they opened their eyes and moved, Tang Jing had an illusion, as if there was a mysterious connection between him and these stone statues. Suddenly, one of the stone statues bent down and knelt down in front of Tang Jing. Yes, the legendary four symbols venerable actually knelt down in front of Tang Jing. Everyone stared at the scene in disbelief. Even Tang Jing felt as if he had fallen into the clouds. He had no idea what was going on. However, he was certain that the four supremes had no ill intentions towards him. Instead, there was a voice calling out to him from the bottom of his heart, encouraging him to walk over. As a result, he walked over to the kneeling stone statue. The stone statue's eyes were very bright and gave off an indescribable pressure to ordinary people. However, Tang Jing did not feel any pressure at all. Instead, he felt a sense of intimacy. The stone statue opened a palm and placed it flat on the ground. Tang Jing was confused and had no idea what it meant. However, the stone statue was not in a hurry. Instead, it stared straight at Tang Jing. Suddenly, Tang Jing seemed to have understood something. He carefully walked over to the palm and stood on it. Hiss! Many people sucked in a breath of cold air. Just now, they had clearly seen how powerful that palm was. As long as that palm gently grasped it, Tang Jing would be smashed into pieces. Many people's hearts were in their throats. The demon god and Louis watched all of this with mixed feelings. They had no idea what was going to happen next. On the contrary, Tang Jing's heart was the calmest. He could feel a sense of intimacy from the stone statue. There was not the slightest trace of hostility. The stone statue stood up and raised its palm to where its heart was. Gotcha! Suddenly, a stone door opened in its heart. This scene was like a miracle, causing everyone to hold their breaths at the same time. Tang Jing lightly leaped from the palm to the stone door. Then, he strode inside. A black light instantly enveloped him, making him feel warm. In a daze, Tang Jing arrived on a chair made of stone. As soon as he sat on this stone chair, many things inexplicably appeared in his heart. At this moment, his eyes also became pitch black, like the deep night sky. Raise your leg. A thought suddenly appeared in his mind. Boom! The earth trembled. The stone statue raised its leg and put it down again, moving according to Tang Jing's thoughts. You're tuning in to the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.